Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to get to after a busy weekend in the sports world. A lot of NBA to discuss as the conference finals are officially set after Game 7 last night in the Eastern Conference. We'll talk about all the games from the weekend, start setting up these series as we've got Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals later tonight. Spurs and Thunder. We'll talk about all the action from the PGA Championship over the weekend. A lot of baseball, football to discuss. A little bit of everything over the next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well, Brian. I promise I'm not trying to be a wise guy because I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you. Winner of the Preakness.
I've heard the name a couple times. I didn't watch second
Napoleon
of it, so.
Solo.
Okay, Napoleon Solo.
Shout out.
That?
Way to go,
yeah,
Landon. Way to go.
John and I watched it all the way through.
How about that? Wow.
I watched the race, and I didn't know. And I did watch the race. Boy, it lost a lot of luster. Not being at Pimlico.
Yeah.
No Triple Crown. Ooh, boy, it was... Sadsville.
The first time on Saturday that I even thought about it was when I got a notification on my phone that whoever won, Napoleon Solo won. And I said, oh, yeah, that was today. And I completely missed it. I didn't think about
Napoleon
it for a second.
Solo. Just left old Bonaparte completely
How
out.
about that? I mean,
time waits for no man, does it?
No, it does not. It does not. So
it does not.
Now I guess we'll have
Napoleon can head off the elb again, be all by himself,
That's
all by himself. You know, he was about 4'11".
That's right. Yeah, no, a small fella for sure. So yeah,
caused a lot of his idiosyncratic ways to want to take over the world. Look what it got him. Look what it got him.
Yes, they call that little man syndrome.
They do. That's what it is.
The
classic call of it.
Yes, that's exactly right. But no, yeah, I missed all the
4'11".
horse
I could
racing.
post him up. I'd be Wimby over me with him.
You'd dunk on him, Brett.
I would.
Or at
take
least,
that,
something.
Take that, Napoleon.
That's right. That's right. You need to go over to John's house where he plays with his buddies on the 8-foot rim. And that way you could.
He's dunking everywhere.
Everybody's dunking on an 8-foot rim. That's where all the fun is. But
There'll be some dunks tonight.
There are. No, this is going to be a really, really fun series. I think a lot of people, when the playoffs first got set and we knew that was number 1 and number 2, a lot of people were hoping that we would see this Western Conference Finals. Spurs, a lot of success in the regular season against this OKC team, but things change in the playoffs, and we'll see if they can have more success here, or if that playoff that the Thunder, that playoff experience, if it comes in play and they're able to roll the Spurs. I think this is going to be a great series.
I do too, and I think you do realize it. I think everybody realizes it. How much in 2 weeks Oklahoma City and San Antonio will hate each other.
Oh, definitely.
And then give it 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 years, because this is what it's going to look like. Mid to late May, a lot of times over the next many years.
Yeah, I think we're going to get this matchup a lot. And so, you've already seen over the last couple of years, Victor Wembanyama and Chet, it doesn't seem like they like each other too much. And so now getting a full series of those two going at each other, I think will be a lot of fun.
What's the beef there? Who has the bigger chest?
I think they've just seen each other for so long. I mean, they were going against each other in high school at these, different USA, international tournaments. So I think it's just they've seen a lot of each other, and I'm sure both of them, the lanky big men, a lot has been talked about each of them to each other, and so I think that rivalry has just blossomed over the last couple years, and so it should intensify here. And both these teams, they can talk a lot of talk and walk a lot of walk, and so it should be fun over these next couple weeks.
When I mention hate, I'm talking about in a sports context. It is an awfully ugly word, but do you realize how much in a sports context we're going to hate Wemby in 2 or 3 years?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's going to be the exact same that we talk about with any of these dynasties and any of these great players. They very quickly become the most hated, from the most loved to the most hated.
But he's got Pop and Duncan and Ginobili and Tony Parker DNA in him.
Yes, he does. And
San Antonio's used to it. Here they are back again. Bring it on. They don't care.
No, they don't care at all. And it's a really fun team.
Great franchise.
It is. And they know how to go out there and make the moves that they need to make to put together a really competitive team. So they have that again. And it feels like over the next 10 years, we could see this matchup a whole bunch of times. And so
constantly.
Get used to it, because I don't think it's changing anytime soon.
I'm playing for a little credit. Y'all mind?
Okay, please.
In my hand, in my right hand, I have our NBA preseason picks.
All right.
Western Conference Finals, Denver over Oklahoma City.
All right.
So I got 1 out of 2 in the West, right?
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals.
Uh-huh.
My Knickerbockers over Cleveland.
Wow, how about
3
that?
out of 4.
Wow, that's
Final
pretty good. Yeah,
but
no, I got to give you credit for that.
Got Denver over the Knicks in the
Well,
finals.
that's okay. That's all right. But
Landon, you did too. You had Denver, didn't
I was
you?
about to say
How
I
about
was
that?
Denver heavy as well.
Wow. So, hey, I mean, but getting the East really, really good. And
How about that?
that was really ugly last night for Detroit. That was bad
It
basketball.
was ugly, it was early, and it was often.
Mm-hmm.
The first 9-point lead, it was over.
Yeah, no, I mean, you knew pretty early where that game was going, and Pistons just didn't have anything. I mean, they looked out of it early, and which was kind of a surprise to see
Head
at
to
home
Cabo.
in Game 7, and yeah, now they'll go to the offseason.
It was a roadie series, though.
No, well, what's so weird is it didn't start like that. I mean, they came into it, and it was the first 4 games. It was only the home teams winning and really dominating, and there was the story about Cleveland and the lack of success throughout the entire playoffs, going back to the first round of road success they had, and then out of nowhere, they go back to Detroit for Game 5, and it felt like Cleveland became that road team. They win Game 5, they lose Game 6, and then they go out there in Game 7 and really dominate. So it was a very strange series, really, from the start.
While I know Detroit that they're disappointed,
Mm-hmm.
the season was not disappointing.
No, it was a great season. I mean, again, look at where they were a couple years ago, and just, I mean, one of the worst teams in NBA history in the season that they had. And so where they have gone from in just a couple of years has been super, super impressive to watch. And I mean, they certainly have issues. I think you can watch the playoffs and see a couple of issues that they have, and I think they'll go into this offseason. I think they've got a really smart front office, and I think they'll try to address some of those issues and try to come back next year and build off of this, because I think they learned a lot about themselves over these last couple of weeks.
I'm really proud of my preseason NBA
You should
picks.
be.
8 out of
Should
10
be.
in playoff teams in the East, 8 out of 10
Yeah.
in the West. MVP Jokic, he missed on that. He could win it every year. I don't think he was robbed. Do you?
No. I mean, I think SGA was very clearly the MVP. I think, and that's another one. We talk about Thunder and Spurs. How many times we see that? I think over the next however many years, we're going to see some sort of order at 1-2 of SGA and Wembanyama over the next however many years. Those two guys are special, and I think they'll be at the top. But I never have an issue with SGA winning MVP. I think he's an incredible player.
Coach of the Year, Quinn Snyder, didn't hit, but wasn't crazy.
No, not crazy at
Rookie
all.
of the Year, Cooper Flag. It was easy. Everybody had that.
Easy.
First coach fired, sadly, Willie Green. And today, Jamal Mosley.
Yeah, how about that?
Have the Pelicans not heard about how it ended in Orlando? Has the news not reached New Orleans?
I guess not. I think,
I mean,
it takes a
we've
while
got
to
news
go there.
faster than during the height of the Louisiana Purchase.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, well, they've got the whole, the Gulf kind of in the way between Orlando and New Orleans. So I think it's, kind of lost in translation there a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, Jamal Mosley, good for him, I guess.
Brian, one thing from the weekend, it doesn't bother me, but I understand people wanting and people think that sports is just like a jukebox. You just throw a couple coins in and it spits out a classic. We got it with some talking about a little bit of a ho-hum NCAA tournament. Do you agree we had some of that?
Sure, yeah.
And the lack of Thursday, Friday blockbusters,
sure.
of St. Leo of Benedictine upsetting somebody.
Sure.
And we're getting that now out of Aaron Rye winning yesterday. I think it's very unfair. I said to several people, I did a show in a good friend of mine, Bill Vickery, hosts a show on Sunday mornings in Little Rock, and I joined him yesterday. And I said, I want one of these nobodies that most people would say is a nobody. I want one of them to win because that's how you become a somebody. Everybody has to win their first major. For a lot of people, that was the end of it. They just win one. So I was kind of for one of those. I was thinking more Alex Smalley really than anyone else, but Aaron Ra's a more accomplished player than Smalley and a couple of the no names. Landon's cousin, Matty Schmid, right there in the middle of it. Why'd he drop the T on y'all, Landon? I like
He
y'all.
just didn't want to be associated too much anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Wanted to make a name for himself.
Sure.
well good luck, Matty. But probably the last time we're ever hearing from him is yesterday. But Aaron Robb was low man. That's what everybody teeing off Thursday morning or Thursday wanted to accomplish. He did, and so many are grousing that it lacks star power. That even the pros themselves are whining about how tough the course was, and it was the same course for everybody. We always get on Thursday and Friday, and sometimes even into the weekend, you can get that early, late weather differential.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing new at all about that. And Aronimink did get all 4 seasons during the 4 days, didn't they?
Yeah, no, it really did. Yeah,
very open championship.
It was. The weather was wild out there all weekend, and so.
And I was okay with Aaron Ra for this simple reason: we will have Aaron Ra in our field at the FedEx St. Jude Championship at TPC Southwind in August. We were not going to get John Rahm. We were not going to get Cameron Smith, and I'm very doubtful that we were going to get Rory McIlroy. Again, if Rory McIlroy could not be convinced, could not be guilt-tripped into coming to Memphis in the year that the great Fred Smith passed away, why was he going to come when he had at least 2 of the 4 majors, and he knows he's in the next leg of the BMW in St. Louis at Bellerive, and ultimately in the Tour Championship? So he wasn't coming either. And so many of the people that I saw and could feel were pulling for Rory. They didn't pull for him last year at the Ryder Cup, but they have at the Masters. They are in other tournaments. And if you are a fan of the Memphis Golf Stop, by whatever name, whatever time of the year, through all the years that we've had it, if you're a fan of that event, how in the world could you be pulling for Rory McIlroy yesterday when he's done a lot more to us than LeBron James has ever thought about doing? He pure D-stiffed us, kick sand in our face, go pound sand, Memphis, is what he said last year.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned it. The rules in the PGA Tour haven't changed any, and so I obviously I don't think until the rules change, nothing would change with Rory McIlroy. And I still, I know we've talked about this. I think that's where the frustration should more be, is at the PGA and kind of the way the playoffs are set up, than on Rory, because I think he just saw the loophole and is taking the loophole. But no, I mean, I think you're right, and that's kind of one of the reasons I was upset that Aaron Rai won it yesterday, is because I like being kind of the only one following Aaron Rai throughout the 4 days when he's here in Memphis.
You're too glove stand.
I love Aaron Rai, but I was so happy for him, and so I can't talk much about the maybe frustration or lack of happiness
but we will have the PGA champion here.
Sure.
We probably are not. We're not going to have Rory McIlroy as 2 of the 4.
Yeah.
Even if he goes on, would have gone on and won the Grand Slam, or now goes on and wins 3 out of 4. We're probably not going to have him. And if we do have him, how should we treat him?
I mean, I think if he showed up, I think we should treat him fine. I mean, I
mean, rose petals in front of every step.
I mean, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that for any golfer. But
conquering hero. I mean,
I'd just treat him how you treat every other golfer. I wouldn't treat him any differently.
He had rabbit ears yesterday. Got into it with a fan. I mean, would somebody go, "Hey, Roy, thanks for last year"?
I mean, I think that's fair. If you're out there and you want to, I'm all for a little heckling. I think there's the line not to cross. But yeah, I mean,
certainly.
If you wanted to, get at him a little bit for not showing up last year, then I think that's fine. But I mean, you're talking about people upset about yesterday. I really can't speak on that because I'm too biased. Yesterday was the most fun I have ever had watching a golf tournament, or a Sunday at any golf tournament. I was so happy for Aaron Rai. I was cheering from the opening hole until he closed out 18. And then I was getting mad. I was texting buddies, getting mad at the lady. God bless her. I mean, she was doing a great job, etching Aaron Rai's name. Getting at it a little too early. I mean, calm down. There's still golfers out there. There was still an opening for somebody.
She had
to
the
go
Dremel out early, didn't she?
She did, and was getting it done. Look, she's got a job to do. She's got to do it and have it
ready.
Third
last name ever, 3-letter last name. Can you name the other one on the famed Rodman Watermaker Trophy?
No way. What a tough question to ask me, Brett. There's no way I'm answering that.
It's really not. It's not that long ago. Jason Day.
Okay,
D-A-Y.
Jason Day. Okay, I would have never gotten to that. I would have never been able to land on Jason Day. But no, I had a blast watching Aaron.
But she was meticulous with it, wasn't she?
She was, and she had her nails done. She had her rings on. I mean, her hands looked great.
Yeah,
I mean, she was ready for the moment. But I was getting a little antsy.
It was her time.
It was.
It's like every public address announcer on third down now. It's their time.
Right, yeah, that's their time to shine.
It's their time.
No, I had a blast.
Gotta take a
yesterday.
shot.
You got to, it's your moment, so you got to take advantage of it. But no, I had a blast watching him yesterday. I thought it was a really, really fun PGA Championship, and really, I mean, throughout the 4 days, I thought a lot of storylines that kind of came out of it, and different guys.
I love the golf course.
Yeah,
I didn't know this about Newtown Square, PA. Do you know how big it is? Now I know it's a suburb of PA. I couldn't have either until I heard this morning. Rex Hoggard this morning I saw on the Golf Channel, 2,500 people.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay, I did not realize that. That is interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. No, but I had a blast watching it yesterday. I thought it was a lot of fun, and got me excited to see Aaron Rye in August.
I congratulate him. I think it helps tournament directors. Sure. I mean, that's one more major winner.
Oh, definitely.
In a lot of the tournaments, and hope he doesn't pull it like the Kentucky Derby winner and now bow out for the next few weeks.
I don't think you will. I hope not, at least, because I do love watching him play, and so really fun to watch. And then
you think Golden Tempo had the remote control back and forth to quickness in golf?
No, I think Tempo was locked in on the. I mean, it's like I think most people, when they're at the top of their sport, they're really fixated on that sport. Yeah. And so I think Tempo was. And now you got the third leg of the race that now Golden Tempo is supposedly going to race in that one. Now I guess we'll see.
He's not tired.
I don't know who the horse is. I still can't remember the horse's name that won yesterday. But
Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah, Napoleon something or other. Now they'll meet in the third race, and we'll see who the strongest.
Well, will they? I mean, for a sport that they are supposed to run in, they don't really like to run.
No. It's one of those things. You get it only ever so often, but good for them, I guess. They got it down. But
just think how happy you'd have been with Aaron Rye as your shot.
And
$14 million, by the way.
I thought about taking him, which I know is very much hindsight now.
He's your guy.
But I always kind of have him in the back of my mind, but I didn't go with him. And
last year when you followed him in Memphis, how big was the gallery when you were following?
Not very big. 2 years ago, I was quite literally the only person following. It was him and Jason Day.
I confused you.
So
they played Jason Rye and Day?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago.
It was fourth hole then.
That's right. Yeah, it really was. And then last year, I can't remember how many people were following, but I remember it was either 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just me. I was out there, and I was the biggest. And that was when I felt bad because I was only cheering for Aaron Rye because I had a bet out on him, and I had him to beat Jason Day, and I felt bad. And then I got to watch him.
He does seem like a very nice man.
He seems like great. And you heard all the golfers talking about him yesterday. I mean, it sounds
in unison.
He is really a fan favorite on tour. So it was really cool to see him get the win yesterday. But we have a busy show over the next 3 hours. Let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30. We'll talk more about the PGA Championship, everything that happened over the weekend. Aaron Rye getting it done, but it was a crowded leaderboard over the weekend, so we'll talk a lot about that in our next segment at 3:30. 3:45, talk about the NBA playoffs. We'll go back and discuss what happened over the weekend in these different series, but last night it was all Cleveland over the Pistons in Detroit. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports. He'll join us. We'll talk college football and college basketball with David. 4:30, we'll get into the NBA Conference Finals picks as we have that now set with that win last night, Cavs and Knicks in the East. And then later tonight, we'll get game 1 of Thunder and Spurs. So we'll make those picks. We'll preview those matchups a little bit at 4:30. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer is right around the corner. It's time to get those backyards ready for the ultimate pool party. Above ground pools starting at $39.99 installed, with in-ground pools starting at just $49,999. All in-stock patio furniture, it's priced to move. And 5 5-piece patio furniture sets starting at just $999. Outdoor sectionals, they're starting at $12.99 with free umbrella and base with select patio furniture sets. Don't forget about those hot tubs and swim spas. Hot tubs, they're starting at $34.99 with swim spas at $16,999. Special financing, it's available, and if you head out there and mention this ad, get $200 off any pool or spa purchase. So head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
We're Sports Time. He's Bryant Dacus. I'm Brett Norsworthy, and our producer is Landon Schmidt. And we're live and local and with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. Hit us up right there. We're always live and local from our Family Leisure studios, and this hour brought to you every day by the great people at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Driving luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, the only Lexus dealership in Memphis, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is the NBA Conference Finals. They're officially set after last night. We got an ugly game between the Cavaliers and the Pistons. 125-94, the final score. The Cavs on the road after Friday night. It was all Detroit in Cleveland, but that was turned around last night, and just really, really ugly stuff from the Pistons. 35% from the field, 31% from three. You look at that starting lineup and the way they shot the ball from deep. Tobias Harris 0 for 2. He was 0 for 6 from the field. Cade Cunningham 0 for 7 from 3. Asor Thompson 1 for 2. Danish Jenkins 2 for 7. He had a couple guys come off the bench and knock down some threes, but they really did not have the shooting. 14 turnovers for them as well. And on the other side, guys stepped up for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You had Jared Allen with 23 points. Evan Mobley with 21 points. Donovan Mitchell with 26. Sam Merrill came off the bench, 23 points, and was 5 for 8 from 3. He was on an absolute heater last night. So Cleveland advances. They'll now see this Knicks team that has been getting all the R&R they need. I'm sure we'll have the rest versus rust conversation going into game 1 of that series. So should be interesting over in the Eastern Conference. But the Western Conference, it's what everybody was hoping for when the NBA playoffs got started. Oklahoma City and the San Antonio Spurs, the defending champ versus the team that gave them the most trouble in the regular season. Now, it's very different now that we're in the playoffs. The San Antonio team does not have as much playoff experience, but you look at the way these last 2 rounds have gone, they're starting to get that experience. When you have Victor Wembanyama on the court, it feels like he got a pretty good chance against anybody, but this is the defending champs. They now have to play, and it's a defending champs team that's now pretty healthy, as Jalen Williams is cleared and is likely to go in game 1. So they'll have their whole squad, something that they really haven't had most of the season, as they've dealt with a ton of injuries. So really excited for this series, and hopefully San Antonio can just beat them. I mean, one win for San Antonio would be better than either of the teams that Oklahoma has played in the first 2 rounds. So, I mean, you get one, and already it feels like a great series for you. We'll see how this one plays out. Game 1 later tonight on NBC.
And San Antonio's put it on them all year.
They have. Yeah, they've looked really, really good all season against Oklahoma City.
My top story, low man wins regardless of how big the name is, or just 3 letters, or big reputation, or the score. There's too much complaining about how hard the golf course was. Everybody plays the same golf course. When these pro golfers, it's always something to complain about, isn't it? Too hot, too many team events. They cannot, I don't care what they tell you, they can't stand playing in the Presidents and Ryder Cups. They can't stand it. It's always something to them. It's the biggest pampered bunch of babies going. And Aaron Ra, he had no problem with the greens. Everybody else seemed to have them. Scotty Scheffler almost reverted back to when we used to say if he ever starts putting, he will be unbeatable.
Yeah.
And then he started putting. He was unbeatable, and now he's not putting, and he's beatable. But Aaron Rye had no problem with the greens. He left with the Wanamaker in his first major, and I think he deserves congratulations.
No, he absolutely does.
Not top story of the day.
Yeah, that's my not top story of the day. Aaron Rye, a really fun weekend for him. Got better every single round, and that putt on 17 was unbelievable. I mean, when he sank that, you pretty much knew that he had that one wrapped up.
Long putts are flukes, though, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I mean that could have easily been a miss, but it wasn't. He made it. It was awesome. It was really an unreal Sunday for him. He did have to kind of sit around and wait for everybody to finish, but everybody pretty much knew when he was walking off the 18 green that he was going to be the PGA Championship winner, and he was definitely a good story. There's been a lot talked about with him now that he's won the majors. Kind of been on the front page now of his iron covers, his 2 gloves. Both really good stories, and just to see him win is really cool. Obviously, I've enjoyed watching him play. I've been a fan of his for the last 2 or 3 years, and so to see him get the win was really fun. But I thought the whole weekend there was a lot of good, there was a lot of bad, there was a lot of ugly. I thought there were a ton of storylines coming out of this tournament. We'll see how these guys play over the next couple of weeks, and certainly we'll see a lot of them here in August.
I can never remember a 2-glove major winner.
Yeah,
I can remember gloveless.
Yeah.
Freddie Couples wouldn't play with a glove.
But I don't know about the 2-glove.
I don't think Arnold Palmer ever played with a glove, but I don't remember 2 gloves.
No.
My not top story, the Knicks Cavs in the East, Oklahoma City, San Antonio in the West. Back-to-back years for the Knicks to get this far. Last year's heartbreak to Indiana. 12th time in Knicks history for them to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. 9th time for Cleveland. First time since 2018 for Cleveland, and that was with LeBron James. Oklahoma City, well, the dynasty's only building. They're going to be there a lot. Back-to-back years, going for back-to-back championships. 6th time for them to be in the Western Conference Finals since moving from Seattle.
Wow.
San Antonio, a whopping 15th Western Conference Finals appearance. I mean, it's very Packers. It's very Favre to Rodgers. Well, the Packers weren't near as good as the Spurs. But the consistency of a big-time star and big-time coach, big-time city, big-time franchise, 15th, and this is the first of many head-to-heads, and they're going to detest each other in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, they are, and it should make for some very entertaining basketball. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we'll talk more about what happened over the weekend at the PGA Championship. We do that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Five-Ash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG,
high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and the intensity isn't letting up. And with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, your winnings get a boost every single day, all playoffs long. And DraftKings Sportsbook keeps boosting you all the way through. All DraftKings customers can enjoy a profit boost every single day throughout the playoffs. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code HERD to claim your profit boost. That's code HERD to get a boost every day of the NBA playoffs in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, come hang out on the back porch. An hour full of the hottest topics and important people around the SEC and only the SEC. The Back Porch, Saturday morning at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Trying to clear up this accident out here on Bill and Morris Parkway going eastbound, right at Kirby. A lot of rubbernecking associated with this crash. It was always starting to get heavy out on this side of town anyway, headed out towards Collierville. Again, clearing this wreck from Bill and Morris Parkway eastbound, right at Kirby. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse in your car and truck having transmission problems. It's okay. Come to Amco Transmissions, 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Brett, you want to know how much of a degenerate I am?
Well, I don't think you are degenerate, but if you have done something to think that maybe that you are, please explain.
I'm currently sweating Holy Cross and Bucknell over in college baseball. 11.5, 10-0 right now in the top of the ninth. Whew.
Ooh.
Well,
you are.
Ooh.
Who's batting?
Holy Cross in the top of the ninth. Got a runner on second, though. I mean,
they hadn't done anything to this point.
Hey, they got the bloop. Now we need a blast, you know?
Yes, we do.
And that gets us to 12. So
kind of where the Cardinals were yesterday in the ninth, weren't they?
Okay, Brett, I thought about doing the show shirtless today after what happened over the weekend with the Cardinals. So.
I did not think about doing it, but I can understand why you would. And it really brought it's the first life in the ballpark since opening day.
Brett, it might be the first life in the ballpark since 3 years ago. I mean,
Bryant, real organic life in the ballpark. Okay, we're supposed to cheer the red coats. Okay, we're supposed to cheer the Clydesdales. Okay, we're supposed to cheer the old timers or the veteran players or whatever you want to call them. Okay, a tip of the cap from Tony La Russa. You're right.
That was real juice. That was good stuff.
It was. Now, I'm joking when I say this. Hope I don't get in trouble over there. You going to bring real juice tomorrow night against Pittsburgh?
Uh-huh.
Along the left field line. Have the girls do it.
Honestly, Brett, I've got to be honest.
See how that shakes things up.
There was a couple of shots at the tarp.
Someone's going to try.
There were a couple of, you could tell, girlfriends, wives, and I was like, which one of these girls just says, I'm going for it, and just whips it off. But
and Bryant, think about it. I'm not advocating that. I kid. Well, I wish I could reel that back in. hit the delay.
No kidding.
No, but just think about it. How many do you think were there with the Stephen F. Austin group? 100?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good amount.
Players, fans, friends.
Sure. I mean, I'd say maybe.
You couldn't arrest 100 people if you wanted to.
No.
There's not near that much presence at the ballpark.
Absolutely not.
No, I'm not advocating that.
No.
I'm not. Not in G-rated, family-oriented St.
Back
Louis.
to golf. Back to golf.
Yeah, back to golf. Yeah, this is a golf segment.
That's right. No, I thought the weekend was really fun. Like I said during my Not Top story, I thought the weekend as a whole, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad, there's some ugly.
What was your bad?
I just thought, kind of the Scotty putting over the weekend was just kind of
real bad.
I mean, it was bad. I thought, some of the shots here and there from some of the guys that you really thought, hey, this is the opportunity to look. Love Aaron Rye. Love Aaron Rye. That was an opportunity yesterday for somebody to go and win that tournament, and he went out there and won it. There were a couple other guys that you thought waking up Sunday morning or throughout the day on Saturday, this is the opportunity where they go and they take this and they run away with it, and nobody could do it. And I thought some of those shots, some of those performances were a little bad, and then the ugly, that was just reserved for my guy that couldn't show up on time. That was the only ugly of the weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Our friend John Goen that will join us on Wednesday, and we'll do picks and we'll talk golf. We were texting a lot during the weekend about it, and he may use this description again on Wednesday, and I thought it was perfect for as congested, for as tightly compacted, all those cars. And Scotty just had too many cars to pass. Yeah. Everybody talking about 24 people could win today. No, they're not. It's that it was too many. It was too many cars to pass for somebody to come that far back of the pack. But John Goen had the best description of it. It was close, but it was a pillow fight.
Yeah, no, it really was. That's perfect. I could really not describe it any better than that. That's really good.
I thought shadow boxing, but John was right. It was a pillow fight. Nobody, only Aaron Rye, nobody else really could seize an opportunity. John Rahm, I think too much is going to be made. See there, he's not tested enough on Liv. He doesn't know what the Sunday crucible of the major. I don't think that's why he didn't perform that great yesterday. He shot 68. Yeah, another thing that played into it, when you have a par 70, it's gonna keep it kind of compacted.
No, it definitely is. It definitely is. I think you saw that all weekend, but no, I thought there was some really good play. I mean, I think something that's been overshadowed now, especially the way that he kind of wrapped up Saturday and a little bit on Sunday. But we didn't get to talk much about it. But Chris Goddard's round on Friday. I mean, he has the 65 on Friday, and that got a lot of people to believe, okay, this course is gettable. Somebody can go out there and shoot in the mid 60s. And really, you didn't see much of that the rest of the weekend until obviously Aaron Rye did it on yesterday.
63, but
and I mean, that's
he wasn't coming back.
No. That was kind of the other story yesterday of he's just too far out of it. But Kitayama's having an unbelievable round at 63. But you just didn't see after kind of all the talk, because that's what I saw Friday night going into Saturday morning was, okay, Chris Goddard has shown that it can be done. We're about to see some guys really take over this weekend, and you really didn't see much of that over the last two rounds.
Brian, when we started, what do you think of my contention of so many want everything? Everybody wants every golf event to be Tiger 2019 at the Masters.
Yeah.
That doesn't come along all the time. A great playoff or every football game can't be a classic, and we've gotten into the last two Super Bowls being a little on the ho-hum side, and we don't like it. We're used to spellbinding, thrillers.
No, we definitely are. And, I mean, the thing is, going into yesterday, before he won yesterday, Aaron Rye had one PGA Tour win. One on the PGA Tour. I think he has 4 on the European Tour. But
I didn't know he had one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
In 2024, I had to look it up to see how many, but it was one. The Wyndham Championship in 2024, he won that. That was the only win he has on the PGA Tour. So I'm sure most people couldn't even name that one back in 2024. So if a guy that has basically no wins on the PGA Tour, he wins a major championship, if that can't get you excited or that doesn't get you feeling some sort of way, I can't help you. I mean, at that point,
agree.
I have no answers for you because it's not, like you said, we're not going to get that all-time unbelievable tournament every single major championship.
Didn't Indiana get a little of that? Oh, y'all?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I think so. I definitely did. I mean,
great, 16-0, good stuff. But y'all,
yeah. I mean, it's weird. Like I don't really get it.
Have to just have Alabama, Notre Dame, USC, and FSU and Georgia.
But what's funny about that, Brett, is then we get mad when those are the teams that win it.
We sure do.
Like, I mean, if it's these dynasties,
elite club, Dabo and Saban, always in the finals.
These dynasties get built, and we get mad that they keep winning. But then you've got the no names come around and they win it, and it's like, oh man, what a fluke. Yeah, it's like I mean. I guess I don't want you to live on both extremes, but let's be a little bit happy.
We're getting it a little with Oklahoma City. Everybody just just guffawed and yucked it up and had a high old time. Golden State and Steph as a dynasty, but we don't want it for backwater Oklahoma City.
No. So yeah, I think it's kind of weird, but I did see a lot of that yesterday with Aaron Rye winning. Some people disappointed about the way it played out. Like I said, I loved it. I was enjoying every second of it yesterday. Was locked in.
I don't know that I loved it, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, that's good. That's kind of where I want people to land. It's like I just don't understand the people that were outwardly upset about it. It was like that was boring. I didn't like that.
There are. It's far just a few, and golf can and historically has gotten very toady about that. It's really not. You go win the CJ Cup next weekend. This is for us.
Yeah, no, it definitely has, and so I mean, again, like Aaron Ryan last week, he was playing at Myrtle Beach. He was in the secondary tour last week.
I'm going to say it. I felt it in the college football playoff around Ole Miss. For years, I had heard and exhibited and talked about, and man, I heard all this SEC all for one and one for but not y'all.
Yeah,
that was just for Alabama, Georgia, and LSU. Florida a little bit.
Sure. I mean, I really don't get it.
We didn't know y'all was going to get that far.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't get it. I don't really get it. But I thought it was a lot of fun yesterday, and was
Tigers got a little bit of that in 08 with those with those blue bloods in San Antonio.
No, they definitely did. And so I don't know. I don't really get it. But
North Carolina, UCLA, Kansas,
Memphis. Yeah, it's kind of like that one that doesn't belong in there. And so I don't know.
I mean, if it's a closed society. And we're not supposed to know the secret handshake. Just tell us.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, then if you just like lay out the rules.
Indiana got a bunch of that
they did
this year, and I didn't like it then.
No. I definitely didn't either. So I don't know. I don't know where that really comes from. I think it's kind of weird, but it was fun yesterday, and I guess we'll see all these live guys down the road, and the rest of them we'll hopefully see next week. And next couple weeks.
Live, they had skin in the game because the public investment fund is not re-upping, and they're trying to find investors, and that would have been a lot easier going around selling. Sure. John Rahm is the winner, or Cam Smith is the winner.
Yeah. No, then they had a good weekend. You mentioned John Rahm. He was right there. Just couldn't get it done. And then
but they go back to anonymity next week.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know where they go.
What even is the live schedule now?
Don't know.
I have no earthly idea. But I mean, Cam Smith, it was nice to see him. He's kind of the one that I always joke about. I feel like we kind of forgot about him, and he kind of got lost when he went to live, and didn't feel like he was performing very well when he would come over here for the big events. Let's see, what is their schedule coming up? Next event, May 28th through the 31st in Korea.
Okay.
So
Dayline Seoul.
Yeah, got a couple weeks until that, so they'll get a break, and then they'll go out there.
Hey, I had the schedule release.
I got it. I got it.
You got it.
I got live in Korea. I don't even know what time that will. What's that? Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I got that first round at 11:15 p.m. Central. So that'll be a late night, but don't worry, I got it.
I'm long gone at 11:15 p.m.
Next couple, I don't even know. Next time they're in the United States is August 6th through the 9th. They're in New York. So they're international for a while. I say for a while. They only have that's only 3 tournaments for them. They take so much time off in between tournaments. So
I think it's even money they don't play the New York event.
I would say so. It's oh wow. They get on an American run at the end of their season. New York, Indianapolis, Michigan. I think they're lucky if they play one of them.
What site? What course for Indianapolis?
The club at Chatham Hills.
I thought maybe back to Crooked Stick.
Yeah, no, I don't know that one. So yeah, I don't know. I think the international tournaments, good chance to play them. I don't know about the ones here in the United States.
I can promise you I'm not interested in live during the summertime when it hits football season.
Absolutely not.
I can't properly explain to you how little I'm interested in.
No, definitely not. So we'll see if they'll probably get canceled. We won't even know that they're canceled because of the football monster that's coming. But good news, got the over. 11-2 the score now in the bottom of the ninth.
Yes!
Walked 4 straight batters to get the over.
Oh,
so
Bryce, that's a great job.
Made my afternoon because I didn't think there was a chance over was going to hit. But
Green Stripe already confirmed it.
I don't know. I haven't gotten into the account. College baseball, it's usually pretty slow. They don't keep close tabs on that like they should, I guess. But let's go ahead and get to another break. When we return, we're going to talk some NBA playoffs. A lot of action over the weekend, including a runaway victory last night on the road for the Cleveland Cavaliers. We'll discuss it next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals, they start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders. If you were anywhere in the Mid-South lately, you felt it. High winds, hail, and storms rolling through hard. And here's the truth. If your roof took a hit, you may not see it yet. Hail and wind damage shingles can compromise your roof, opening the door for water intrusion. And once it gets in, the damage spreads fast. Ceilings, walls, insulation, even mold. That's why the sooner we inspect, the less damage you risk. Right now, Metro Builders has teams all over Memphis performing free inspections, handling same-day repairs, and providing emergency water mitigation services if needed. We'll show you exactly what we see, document everything, and help you take action before a small problem becomes a big one. Don't wait until you see water inside. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or book your inspection online at MetroBuildersMemphis.com. That's Metro Builders Memphis. We don't just build, we build world class.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, the NBA playoffs, the conference finals are set. We will talk more about those games and make our picks in the next hour, but got to talk about what happened over the weekend. Last night, it was all Cavaliers. They got after it early. It was no turning back, really, and you talked about it earlier. I mean, I think last night was pretty disappointing to see Detroit play like that. Still a great season for the Pistons, but to end like that, they're going to have a real bad taste in their mouth pretty much all offseason going into next year.
Well, they sure are, but the strides they've made, they got to keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
What do they need? What's the biggest thing they need to make that natural next step?
I think the biggest is get another ball handler in that backcourt with Cade. I mean, they
What
do
about
not
John Morant?
have. I've heard people throw that out there.
One ball.
I don't like that fit too much. The other big thing is, I mean, that's just a lot of money between those two guys. And how does the rest of the team look around that? I really don't love it. I think kind of get somebody that's on kind of a smaller to mid deal. You're not asking for a guy that needs to go out there and be the star. You actually would like the exact opposite of that, because Cade Cunningham is very clearly your star. You just need another, reliable guy out there. I know we talked about Ty Jerome. Like, I think Ty Jerome with the Pistons would be a really nice fit of
sure would.
A guy that's made it happen, has never been the star where he's at, and has never really asked to be the star where he's at. And so, I mean, I don't know if there's any thought of maybe the Pistons trying to get a deal with the Grizzlies, but that's more the type of guy I would see as a fit for Detroit.
For a lot of reasons, all those you just listed, ball dependency, salary. Is Ty Jerome more attractive for teams than John Morant?
Oh, yeah, I think so. And a lot of it, like you said, it has to do with the money and with the injuries. It's a lot of things that go into it. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that's kind of uncontrollable. But it does feel like if the Grizzlies today called every single team in the NBA and said, look, John Morant's available and Ty Jerome's available, I think you would have more people coming up with reasonable deals for Ty Jerome than for John Morant. I mean, some of these deals you're seeing
are we
sure
John's going to get dealt?
No. I would say it's like a 98% chance it happens, but I think there's still that 2% chance that yeah, I mean, I think the organization's pretty much told you that they're going to do pretty much everything they need to do to get them somewhere else.
Yeah. I do. I like these conference finals, but I the teams that were out in that last round, I don't think any of them should be hiding their head in shame.
No.
Cleveland, with James Harden not playing well, they averted the heavy criticism that was going to come down on them. They're going to get it if they lose in this next round.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they exit, James Harden's going to catch it.
No, he definitely will, and it's a good point by you, because it's been so weird, the dynamics of the James Harden conversation. Because you're right, if Cleveland had lost that game, everybody would be hammering James Harden. He didn't play well last night. Like he was not very good at all.
He was awful.
He was, and it was just everybody else stepped up. But I'm hearing today a lot of people nationally, a lot of people around the country talking about James Harden and how good he was last night. He was horrible last night. Like, what?
At 9 points. Am I right on the box score?
No, you're right. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, 9 points, 2 for 10, 0 for 6. Had, he did only have 1 turnover, had 5 rebounds, 6 assists.
He did nothing.
But you're not getting anything from him defensively. I mean, it's just, that's a given.
That's never been the calling card.
And so, like, I just don't get it how I'm seeing some people that are like.
He's not Tony Allen on defense.
No, far from. I mean, the exact opposite of Tony Allen. But I've legitimately seen some people that have been talking about how big of an addition James Harden was, and this was the reason that James Harden was added to the Cavaliers. Like, you can make that argument. Today's not the day to be making that argument because he,
if anybody,
did not
was
help
back off
night.
Donovan Mitchell.
Oh yeah, it absolutely was. Donovan Mitchell was great last night, and so those bigs were really good. I mean, that's the other thing. When we talked about Detroit and some of the issues they have, I mentioned the backcourt. Front court's got to be addressed as well because Jared Allen and Evan Mobley did literally whatever they wanted to do all series against that Pistons team. Obviously, Jalen Duren's been the one that's been talked about a lot. He was not good at all throughout the playoffs.
Rough.
Yeah, man.
End of the year.
Yeah, it was really bad. But he's not the only big on that roster. They went to Paul Reed, who's been buried on the bench all season long. He gave them some good minutes. They just don't have many options down there, and they don't have many options with size down there. And so when you see a team like Cleveland that neither Evan Mobley or Jared Allen are very hefty, but both of them stand a mile tall, it feels like, and are super lanky. Detroit just didn't have anybody that can match up against those guys.
I can't figure out where I am the most. Am I with the right moves, right draft, just something decent in free agency? I'm not talking about landing, a whale. Just, the Grizzlies are they? It could happen. They're not that far back, or it's two extremes, or we're so much further back than we can imagine.
Yeah. That's a good question.
When I see these teams getting stuck at this point, and we're not in the time zone of them.
No, that's a really good question. I think what makes you have the hope is, again, look at where Detroit was a couple years ago and the big jump they made. Now, the argument to that is they already had Cade Cunningham when they were going through that horrible year. They already had Jalen Duren when they were going through that horrible year. They had the pieces. It was just those pieces were super young, and they had to go through one of the worst starts of an NBA season that we've ever seen in the history of the league to now make that jump.
They were more fundamentally flawed than I think the Grizzlies are. If any decent health for Zach Edey.
Absolutely. And so, I mean,
Now that next Zach Edey injury, Brian, do you know how we all just, we duck and cover.
I can't even imagine it. I mean, I am praying that we don't see anything come close to any type of injury you see in this last season for Zach Edey.
I mean, if we got 17 games in next year and he had to shut it down until March.
Be really bad. Really bad. And that's the fear. I mean, again, it's been a lot of injuries now stacking up for him. So I don't know. I think the Grizzlies are in a weird spot right now, and I think that's why this draft is so important, because you have to start laying that foundation. You've got a couple foundation pieces already, but you got to start stacking those foundation pieces to try to build a really nice roster. So
and then put together the satellites. I mean, it's a tough job.
It is. It's very tough, and that's why this offseason feels very, very important. But let's get to another break. When we return, we're going to talk some college football, some college basketball. David Cobb from CBS Sports. He joins us next.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Old Dominick Distillery is pure Memphis spirit, all the way from the winning atmosphere at their downtown distillery to award-winning craft spirits. And there's always something happening. Saturday, May 23rd, you're invited to Old Dominick's Crawfish Boil. Rock out to music by the Risky Whiskey Boys. Eat big and wash it all down with a craft cocktail or local beer. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
You know what makes a city great? It's the extra special little things like great museums, a zoo, or parks, and golf courses. And the city of Memphis recognized that years ago, and they have made great city golf courses. All the renovations, like Galloway several years ago, the new one at Audubon, what they did to Pine Hill 90 years after it first opened is extra special. The amenities make a city, and golf courses are part of those amenities. They're terrific, and every golf course has its own championship. So if you want to play in the Galloway Championship, the Audubon Championship, even that OPO, the oldest golf tournament around, the Overton Park Open for the youth, that's going into year 80. That's how special Memphis golf is. You want to make a tee time? They made it easy modern way. Just go to memphispubliclinks.com.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet piquilla peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A little bit heavier than it was 15-20 minutes ago. Trying to sneak through Midtown on 240 southbound here at South Parkway. Watching it doing pretty good over here on 40 East as you work your way past Wolford, Hollywood, headed over towards White Station. As traffic already starts to crank up going outbound on Billmore Parkway right when you come off 240. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission problems. Come to Amco Transmissions right now with 2 locations here in Memphis. Tell them I sent you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that
Going back into Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Monday afternoon. We've got to talk some college football and college basketball, and joining us like he does every single Monday afternoon, it's David Cobb.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is national college football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
David Cobb joins us now from CBS Sports. You can go find all of his work over at cbssports.com. And David, a lot to get to. I think last Monday when you joined us, this was already published, but I don't think we had enough time to get into it last week. But you and I believe a colleague of yours put out a bracketology for college basketball after the news of the 76 team tournament that we will get next year. And you did not have Memphis in there. I believe you had Wichita State in there out of the American. So I'm curious, based on the moves you've seen from Memphis this offseason and from other teams in the American, where would you kind of rank this Memphis roster right now?
Yeah, it's right there at the top of the American. So not in the way too early bracketology, but not horribly far off either. So when we put together a bracketology at this point in the calendar, when there have been 0 games played and we're still 6 months away from games being played, the only thing you really have to go on, if you're looking at a uniform way to approach it, is what some of the advanced data analysts think of the teams that you're looking at. Mm-hmm. So, for example, Bart Torvik, Evan Miyakawa, like some of the big hitters in the analytics world, they favor Wichita State out of the American right now. So we run various simulations. We have our own data that we incorporate, and then we mix it all up. And what you get is Wichita State right now, but it's not. There's no clear favorite in the American. Memphis's roster, I would argue, is probably the most talented, but on a certain level, some of the metrics that you use are going to be hesitant because there's going to be a little bit of last year's influence on it to buy in on a Memphis team that's coming off its worst season yet under Penny Hardaway and completely flipping the roster once again. So I like what Memphis has done. I think given the resources, given the poor trajectory that you had coming out of last season, I think it's a pretty decent roster. The one thing they're maybe missing is a little bit of rim protection, but I don't think they're far off at all. I wouldn't be shocked if Memphis is voted as the favorite to win the American in a few months when those polls come out. So no, we do have Wichita State as the May American favorite, but I don't think Memphis is far off from that title whatsoever.
David, whether you or those advanced metric rankers, whether they did it or not, how would you rank the coaches in the American?
Well, it's interesting. You got a influx. It's kind of become the retread hub a little bit, like Wes Miller coming from Cincinnati. You've had Andy Kennedy now, the old Ole Miss coach. Chris Mack, formerly the coach at Xavier in Louisville, is in this league now. So if you're power ranking the head coaches in the American, I think you probably put Penny Hardaway 4th or 5th. I mean, I think he's in terms of career accomplishments, he's behind Chris Mack. I'd put him, I don't know, pretty close with like a Wes Miller, but Eric Conkle's another name to know from the American in basketball because look, like, that's not a program that's just totally flush with resources that you expect big things from, but they had a really nice year this past year, and he's one of those names to watch because if Tulsa puts together another good season, he could be out of there real quick and in high demand from some of the big boys. So you win 30 games at Tulsa, you're up pretty high in those power rankings. So you scroll through, it's not exactly an elite league in terms of coaches. So maybe 4th or 5th is harsh on Penny. He might be 3rd if I'm truly power ranking them. I think I would go Chris Mack 1. Then I would probably go Eric Conkle 2, Penny Hardaway 3, Wes Miller 4. If that's the way I were power ranking American basketball coaches.
Penny's got to be on that bracket on Selection Sunday. Memphis has to be somewhere on there, don't they?
I don't think there's any doubt. At this point, you overhauled the staff again. You've overhauled the roster again. You've brought in a general manager. You've scheduled as aggressively as you can possibly schedule. Like, if it doesn't work this year, there's not really anything left to try. Like, you've kind of tried everything. If this doesn't work, you've had so many different iterations of your staff, so many different cracks at the roster. no shortage of the beef that you need in the non-conference to put together an at-large resume. And if it doesn't work this year, I just don't know that there's that one thing that the fans or the supporters or Penny himself who that they could point to and say, well, if only we did this. Now I know everybody the Penny backers would say, well, give them more money. Well, as we all know, it doesn't grow on trees, and we all understand Memphis is trying to be good at football. Memphis views football as its ticket to a Power 4 league. Memphis has invested a lot of money in a nice, renovated football stadium. You're not going to do that and then rob Peter to pay Paul just to give Penny Hardaway $2 more million next season so he can go do what with it, right? So no, I think this is it. You make the tournament, you keep on moving. You miss the tournament, come on. It's time to make a change. And thank you for your service. You did some good things. But yeah, and I think this roster is good enough to do it. Is it possible that in a 76-team bracket, the American get two bids? Yes, absolutely it is. So keep that in mind as well when we're having this discussion. If Memphis does a decent job in the non-conference, and then goes 13-5 in the American. Well, maybe last year that's not good enough. This year with 76 teams, you have even fewer excuses, right? And I'm not just talking about Memphis. I'm talking about everybody. With a 76-team NCAA tournament, if you don't make it as an at-large team, I mean, what's your excuse? You clearly were not good enough. So no, but I think the expansion helps Memphis and it helps Penny. Because I think it raises the percentage chance, at least on a certain level, that the American gets two teams into the big dance. Is it significantly more likely? No, but it's at least a little bit more likely, and it gives you a little bit of a safety net. If you have a decent November and December, you're not feeling like, oh my gosh, we got to go 17-1, we got to go 16-2. No, you could lose 5 games against an aggressive non-conference schedule like the one Memphis is going to play, and then go lose 4 or 5 more in the American and probably still be right there with 76. So, it's got to be a tournament year for Penny Hardaway.
Yeah. No, it definitely has to be. I'm curious because we had the combine last year or last week, and so now we're about to see a wave of guys making their decision of if they're going to go back to college or if they're going to stay in the draft. We've seen a couple of names over the last week or two make those decisions, but who are some names that you're watching this week on that decision? Who do you think is most likely to return to college?
Yeah, so for me, it's the 3 guys who are also in the portal, who are among the highest ranked potential portal players anyway, if they withdraw. It's Milan Momcilovic from Iowa State, Kentucky, Louisville, St. John's, going to be in a bidding war for him. I mean, how's that for Kentucky fans? You got Rick Pitino and then your in-state rival, bidding hard against you for the player you have to have. Talk about high stress stakes in May. And I think Momcilovic is going to withdraw, and so that's going to be really interesting. Alan Graves from Santa Clara, he's our number 4 ranked transfer. Same with Tande Yesufu at Baylor, he's number 5. If they both withdraw from the draft, oh buddy, the teams that still need to round out their rosters are going to be throwing money in their direction. So those are the 3 that are most interesting to me. What's going to happen there? I'll throw Tyler Tanner in there at Vanderbilt. As we suspected, his measurables at the combine suggest that
not great.
He's more like my size than the size of your typical NBA starting.
He's got
guard.
your own speed and ball handling ability, though,
That's
David.
right.
But he is your size.
He and on vertical and on basketball
everything
IQ.
else.
There's a lot of things. But
I would like to challenge Tyler Tanner to a writing competition. I bet I could go more words per minute.
There you
Maybe
go.
I don't know about that either. These kids grew up on TikTok. I don't know. They can hammer them out. But so he's a very interesting one as well. But no, it's the 3 from me who are in the portal who I think move the needle the most because we'll see a little final wave, window of roster and financial insanity if those guys withdraw from the draft and return to college basketball.
Momcilovic definitely not returning to Iowa State.
Well, I guess you never say never, but I'd be pretty surprised because they're not going to be able to.
Because that impacts the Tigers' opening morning up in South Dakota with playing Iowa State opening day, and opening afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. Good call, Brett. Like Iowa State's not going to have the level of continuity that it typically does under TJ Otzelberger, and part of that is like they're getting priced out a little bit here. Like that, you want to talk about programs that do more with less, and we all think, oh, we have to have $12 million on our roster. We can't even make the NCAA tournament. We'd be lucky to make the NIT if we don't have a $10 million roster. And if we only have an $8 million roster, by golly, like, we're going under 500. It's just not, that is just not true. Like, that is just factually incorrect. Like, Iowa State has been operating as a Sweet 16, Elite 8 caliber program for multiple years under TJ Otzelberger without ever having a $10 million roster. Okay? It can be done. But what happens is you get a guy like Milan Momcilovic who, I mean, by himself, he's probably 75% of Iowa State's entire men's basketball budget. So I don't think it's a matter of does he want to or, does he like Iowa State. I think he likes them just fine. But if you could triple your salary by going somewhere else, who among us wouldn't do it? I mean, and it's not like he's going to join the Saudis. It's not like an LIV golf situation where it's like, well, this may not be the morally best thing to do. I mean, no, there's nothing immoral about going to another school,
Not at all.
So if you could triple your salary, y'all would go to a different station. I'd go to a different website. We'd all do it. So, I think that's where he's at.
Malik Thomas, Billy Richmond, neither back at Arkansas?
Well, I've been surprised the idea that, like, maybe Malik Thomas is going to go. That didn't really add up to me. I don't think he's declared for certain, right? But I really thought he could benefit from one more year as more like the guy at Arkansas, because obviously with how special Darius Acuff was this year, he played a secondary kind of role. And in my mind, I'm thinking next year's draft is weak. Yeah, Arkansas does have Jordan Smith Jr. coming in to be another star freshman guard, but with an additional year of seasoning, a little bit more time in the weight room, man, I kind of had Malik Thomas penciled in as like a breakout player next year for Arkansas in terms of like, a first-team All-SEC, a guy who could become a lottery pick. I don't think he's a lottery pick. I think he could make a lot of money at Arkansas. I think he could be a lottery pick next year, but I think he must have had a good combine because the idea right now seems to be that he's going to stay in the draft. So I don't think that kills Arkansas because so long as Billy Richmond Jr. is back and you do have Jordan Smith coming in, like they're going to be just fine. But, man, I'd really like to see that team with Malik Thomas because I think they could be really special with him.
It sounded like Billy Richmond had a pretty good combine as well. I heard some good things from him. Do you think he returns to Arkansas next year?
Yeah, I would think so, but this was probably a really good experience for him because I do think he's an NBA-level talent. But especially if Arkansas's got a little extra to play with, if Malik Thomas stays in the draft, hey, buddy, look, Malik's going to stay in the draft. Like, I know you're thinking about it, but all of a sudden we got another $500K we can throw your way. Right? So I think financially, it would make a lot of sense for Billy Richmond to come back. All right, Malik Thomas, if he gets that first round guarantee, all right, like I still think he'd be better off coming back to college as the 25th or 26th pick. But if you're Billy Richmond, I have a hard time seeing him going in the first round. I don't even think it would be close financially. So I would say he definitely should come back, and he too can benefit from the departure of Darius Acuff, especially if Malik Thomas is gone. Because we saw Billy Richmond start to blossom a little bit in the second half of this past season. All of a sudden, he's in a role where he is relied on to score more. He's not the fourth option, and he scores 16 points a game next year. Right now, you're talking about a guy that's close to a lock to go in the first round. So I can't see any world in which Arkansas loses Malik Thomas and Billy Richmond III. I just can't see that.
Billy Richmond plays as hard as any player you'll ever see. I do think he's got to work on consistently knocking down 15, 16-foot jump shot.
For sure, no doubt. And that's, I'm sure, the same thing that he's hearing at the Combine, right? It's just, hey, look, we got to see you round out your offensive portfolio. You need to do a little more than 25% from beyond the arc.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, to survive in the modern NBA, there's just so few guys who can survive in the modern NBA shooting less than 30% from beyond the arc. There is a very limited number of players who are elite in other skill sets.
Next, they'll get one.
Yeah, right. So there's got to be a larger, more proven body of work from beyond the arc for Billy Richmond before he's worth taking a first-round pick on. Now, I say that. Now, he would find a home in the NBA, and 7-8 years ago, I think this decision would be a lot tougher. The decision would be, all right, I can get drafted, or I can get on an Exhibit 10 contract, so I'm going to go. Well, now, like, the math just doesn't add up. Like, you'd be much better off coming back to college. Especially, and even 7-8 years ago, I think you'd be better off coming back to college, because if you develop that skill set for a year, well, now all of a sudden, it's not an Exhibit 10. It's not oh gosh, I got to go to Summer League and play my tail off to have a chance at making the 15-man roster. It's, no. Like, I'm going to go back to college, get my game in better shape, and then I'm not going to be in that situation a year from now, even if I leave some money on the table in the moment. So, yeah, I just think he's close, but he's just not quite there yet.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what decisions are made over these next couple of weeks. We're talking with David Cobb. He joins us from CBS Sports, covers college football and college basketball for them. David, I've got to say, and it's not even up for question for me, the greatest quote I have ever seen in my life came today from Brendan Sorsby and his affidavit in court documents, where he said, quote, I rationalized placing those bets when he bet as a player for Indiana on the Indiana Hoosiers. I rationalized placing those bets as a way to feel more connected to the team, to root for my friends, and to feel like I had a real stake in the game that I otherwise was not involved in. He later added, quote, because the Indiana football team was not a very strong competitor in 2022, I lost most of the bets I placed, end of quote. That is incredible.
Boy, that's the dog ate my homework.
If that's supposed to help him get eligible, like, good luck, buddy. Sometimes less is more. I feel like we maybe could have just not said anything there. Oh man.
Well, what is his lawyer doing? Is his lawyer not like reading over this stuff, like going, "Hey man, like maybe take that part out. Let's not write that part in that."
Yeah, here's the deal. It doesn't matter how you rationalize it. Like, you have inside information. You're in those practices. Like, you know things that the general public does not. And I think we all understand when you're betting on your own team. Maybe you're betting for your own team, but I think we all know that can flip pretty quickly. That can flip pretty quickly, and y'all have a bad day of practice. Now you decide to bet against them. Then somebody slips in your DMs and says, "Hey, look. How's so-and-so's injury doing? Is he going to play this week? Oh, no. Hey, buddy, we're going to be down our top 2 edge rushers and our starting wide receiver. Well, now all of a sudden he's getting paid for that. I'm just saying, like, we all understand how easy it could be, how slippery of a slope that is. Like, I don't care what his rationalization was, as pure-hearted as it was. Like, if anything, he's just giving the NCAA ammunition to hammer him with, because now that you've said all this, the NCAA can use this to say, look, it doesn't matter what your rationalization was. Look how pure his motives were. In his own words, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're doing it to support your team. It's illegal. You can't play in our league if you do this. So I feel like he was just digging his own grave with some of those comments. Like, that's woo-wee, buddy. Like, good luck here. I just don't see the NCAA saying, oh yeah, like, we feel like you're sorry. We feel like your motives were pure. So even though you bet on your own team, sure, buddy, come back and play college football. Like, come on. The NCAA is not going to go there. This is going to get settled in court. And you know what, man? Like, think about this. Even if the court ruling were to be in Brendan Sorsby's favor, is that going to get done in time for him to play this year? I just can't see any way that Brendan Sorsby is on the field for Texas Tech this season.
I think this is part of. I think he's trying to get an injunction to play for the 20. I think this is part of like an injunction to try to have it all pause until the end of the 2026 season.
Yeah, well, that would be quite a precedent. That would be quite a precedent. The Pavia precedent was one thing. The Sorsby precedent will be the one that actually breaks the NCAA. Because if you can get a TRO to play in games when you've been proven to have bet on your own team, just fold it up and go home. The NCAA is done. It's over. I mean, it's just at that point, there's no reason for it to exist.
David, how does Greg Sankey win this playoff number battle when he either wants to stay at 12, maybe go to 14 with buys, or settle in at 16, 11 and 5 is what he's advocated with us last summer. Bryant, how does he, the only one out there that doesn't want to go to 24, how does he win this?
Yeah, I guess the idea is basically that ESPN doesn't want it, and ESPN and Greg Sankey are tied at the hip, and Greg Sankey's gonna tout whatever ESPN wants. I mean, that's the simplest
whatever
explanation.
Fox wants.
Exactly, and so these other leagues. Now, you could say the same thing. My point on that has been, well, how come the ACC is so in favor of 24? They're with ESPN. Now, I know they don't like their deal with ESPN, and that's probably the difference. They think, well, they naively signed on in 2016 for a 20-year deal with ESPN with very little foresight into the future about how TV rights deals were going to continue increasing, and now they've been left behind, and they can't get out of their deal until 2036. So I think they're less loyal to ESPN because now they feel like they got into a bad deal with ESPN. So that's why you see the ACC throwing their support behind it. Not to mention, they would have had Virginia and Georgia Tech both make the field this past season under a 2014 format. So they're looking at a world that gets more of their teams in. And but for the SEC, I mean, I honestly think it'd be good for the league because if you're going to a mostly at-large type of field, the SEC's got a 9-game SEC schedule now, really good strength of schedule. I think the SEC would put 8-9 teams in the most 24-team brackets, and you would think that would be appealing to the SEC, but maybe not.
They should. I don't think. Now, Greg Byrne is far, so he's at a place that it was better when there was 2 teams because Alabama would often get in when it was just 2. So that's over there. Georgia's AD and Kirby, they're for 24. I just don't know how Sankey wins this when all of his coaches appear to want it, and they're voicing what the ADs want. The ADs are voicing what at the chancellor, provost, president level want. I don't know how he escapes this.
Yeah, no, it's weird to see Greg Sankey on an island. It's just not, normally if he is, he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win. I don't think Greg Sankey's going to win this one. But at the end of the day, like, if he's tied at the hip to ESPN, like, the SEC's on pretty good footing there because ESPN has the rights. And at the end of the day, too, guys, like, it's really only the SEC and the Big Ten that matter. Because the rest of these leagues have sacrificed to continue being a part of the big boy game. They've sacrificed their vote. So it is the Big Ten and the SEC that will determine the future of the college football playoff. And if they're not in uniform lockstep agreement, nothing is going to happen.
No.
So it feels like Greg Sankey is wildly outnumbered here. But from the standpoint of the votes that actually matter, it's 1-to-1. I mean, it's Greg Sankey against Tim Pernetti. I mean, it's not as extreme as it sounds. And then you go poll the general public, 12 or 24. I don't think the overwhelming majority of the general public is going to say 24. Now, the public is more in favor of college football playoff expansion than they are in favor of NCAA tournament expansion. It's different than that. But I don't think you're seeing the average college football fan jumping up and down saying, oh, yeah, let's go to 24. Let's go to 24. So in that sense, like, yes, it feels like the people in power are against Greg Sankey, but you got to remember on that pyramid of power, he's so far above everybody else that his voice carries far more weight. So if he wants to be on that island, he may feel a little lonely, but he shouldn't feel powerless because he's not. In fact, he is the reason why the expansion is not happening. And if one man can stand up and keep that from happening, I think it shows you he's still pretty powerful.
Yeah. Well, we just talked about Brendan Sorsby. It looks like news starting to come out that Texas Tech has declared Brendan Sorsby ineligible after finalizing their agreed-upon stipulation of acts with the NCAA and Sorsby. Texas Tech intends to quickly initiate the reinstatement process, that according to Brandon Marcello. So things happening, I guess, for Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby in a situation that is very, very wild. But who knows what happens there. But, David, we are off next week for Memorial Day, so enjoy Memorial Day, and we'll catch back up with you here in a couple of weeks. And by then, it'll be June, and who knows what will be happening with Brendan Sorsby.
All right, fellas, I appreciate it. Y'all enjoy the holiday next week.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David. Thank you so much. David Cobb with us from CBS Sports on college football and college basketball. And he was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the hometown teams like the Grizzlies and the Tigers, in that great location at 4542 Popper at Popper and Perkins in Laurelwood. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, and everybody looking so forward to getting out to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium this year and seeing the surround sound and seeing the ribbon boards and seeing you will see a lot of the sponsorship that Sissy's that they have with the University of Memphis. And we know at FedEx Forum with the 4-seat lounge, the official jeweler for the Grizzlies and the Tigers, 9,000 square feet in Laurelwood, with expanded lines for Cartier, diamonds, Rolex, and more since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South. Sissy's, they offer a selection of diamonds and estate jewelry and fine gifts, unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, we're getting back into the NBA. The conference finals are set. That means we need to make some picks. We do that next on Sports Time.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Memphians have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years because we make it easy for you and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next party.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Hey everybody, I hope you're ready for summer because all the new Silverados are right here in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. No interest financing or $7,000 in cash. So go big with a brand new HD Silverado and make no payments all summer. No payments all summer with your new Trax, Colorado truck, or new Traverse with the third row seating because your good credit deserves it. And this is Military Appreciation Month and our friends at All-Star love our military. In May, get a $1,000 military appreciation bonus on almost every Chevy model here, 1,000. And if you want a barely driven certified Chevy or the hottest pre-owned Chevys on the market, All-Star is spot on. Tahoes, Suburbans, even Trailblazers. And for all your fleet and commercial vehicle needs, express cargo passenger vans and all, they're here. That's right, at All-Star Chevy because they're a top-rated business elite dealer. Together, let's drive. Don't miss the Ready for Summer event going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, T-Dot's trying to clear up a couple of accidents out here. Here's what we're seeing: heavier traffic, certain sections of Sam Cooper, especially going outbound on Sam Cooper here at Perkins, trying to get back up on the Interstate 40 East is busy now. No surprise, really passing Germantown Parkway on 40 East, continuing to push out towards Fayette County. Don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission problems. Bring your vehicle right now to Amco Transmissions, 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
The conference championship is set. Game 1 tonight in the Western Conference gets started between the Thunder and the Spurs. NBC later time. I believe 7:30 is tip time for Game 1. And then tomorrow night we will get Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Cavaliers and Knicks tomorrow night on ESPN at 7 o'clock. So
on free TV the
that's
next
right.
2 nights. Free TV that costs $225
right,
a month.
Yeah. Oh, nothing's free, Brett.
Yeah,
Nothing
free.
is free.
And Brian, it absolutely isn't. And all these people, look, I didn't watch any. I've not ever watched anything on streaming. I missed last night, but you know how I consumed it?
On the radio.
On the radio.
Right.
Listen to the ESPN Affiliate out of Little Rock, and listen to it just fine, and kept up with it just fine. Enjoyed it just fine. And it amazes me, people that think they have a right to free TV.
Yeah,
no. Here's what you can do. The market will keep factoring it in as it goes up and up and up, as it has, until, like it did with boxing with pay-per-view, nobody bought.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. I mean, look, there's
no right to free TV.
No, we talk about it all the time, especially with a lot of sports. You know, you get people that say that. I mean, I talk about it all the time. The NFL, it's ridiculous because you see people complain all the time. And look, is it expensive? Yeah.
Yes.
But
outrageous.
you pay to see every single game. If you don't want to see every single game, you don't have to. You don't got to go out there and buy that. And so, you know, there's different price points for everybody. And so, yeah, I mean, look, it's expensive to have all of these different streaming apps and
little
subscriptions,
clumsy.
but sure, but you know.
The lagging, I see a lot of complaints about that.
Sure.
But, no, you know, the NFL, and I think they will get to a point where the market says, whoa, too much. Until then, they're going to keep pressing it.
No, they definitely are. They definitely are.
It's called supply and demand.
Yeah.
It's called market capitalism.
No, it definitely is. It definitely is. And so, you know.
It's only worked since the days of Adam Smith.
That's right. That's exactly right. And so I don't think, I I think Prime's done with, right? I don't think we have to worry about Prime anymore.
Rest of the way is on
traditional television. So that at least
now last night
nice.
Was on what?
That was on Prime last night. So that was you had to have the
I saw
subscription.
a tweet over the weekend that was it Prime or Prime's not Amazon, right?
No, Amazon is Prime. Yeah, Prime is Amazon. Yes.
And it was on Prime last night.
Yes, that's right.
Well, I guess that was it. They have more carriage than TNT ever had.
No, yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, no.
Well,
Amazon and you're seeing them get more and more in the sports field. I mean, there's a really nice market for Amazon Prime to go and become
how are the
real
sports
force.
bars doing it? Do they have it and have it on?
Yeah, a lot of sports bars have the smart TVs, and they the owner, somebody has a subscription and they log into it, and
and that's legal.
No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
No, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Okay.
For such a long time, the thing was with UFC, the big UFC fights is these restaurants would they would buy it and then they would promote it. Hey, we're gonna have UFC fight 300 or whatever, and they felt like they were making more money by buying that, and they were making what they lost to buy that. They were making that by bringing people in and getting them, having them have food and drinks and everything. And so I think it's kind of similar. As I think a lot of these people, they're like, hey, if we have it, maybe one or two more people come in and they don't have it, but they'll come and get a meal and a drink and watch the game on Prime. So I think it's pretty accessible if you go out places.
Anytime I and others say you have no right to it, you always get, well, we publicly finance the building. That's everyone.
Yeah.
And that was for the bigger local cause, whether that works or not, whether it really is a real magnifier effect. Does it really help your town? That's been debated and debated. Many say yes, a lot say no, that the public financing of buildings, but that doesn't mean you get something free because the building got built.
No, definitely not. And so, it's kind of been weird this year. With
you think those people can balance a checkbook? Things like that?
Well, I don't know. I think it's that's a good question, but Brad,
it's idiotic, isn't it?
I can't speak because I've never used a checkbook, so I can't really I can't really speak on that. I'll leave that to you. But no, it's been kind of weird. But I think as the season's gone on, I think a lot of people have been more accepting of Prime and Peacock and different things. I think it's been fine for the most part.
Bryant, you are 12-6,
All
12-6 in the picks. Both Landon and I are 11-7.
All right.
Once again, those play-in games, that's where you really made hay while the sun was shining. 12-6, we're down to Knicks and Cleveland and Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Your two picks.
I think we're gonna have a lot of similarity on these picks. I'm gonna go.
We're 8-3 on group locks.
Okay,
that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I'm gonna go Thunder against the Spurs. I think it's gonna be a good series. I hope we get 6 or 7 games out of this. I think there's a strong possibility we could. But until the Spurs prove they can do it in the postseason, I'm going to have to go with the defending champs, who give me OKC, and I'm going to go with the Knicks. I don't think the Cavaliers will be able to hang with the Knicks, and I think out of these two, I think it might be a little easier for the Knicks to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals.
Landon, you got there correctly predicting all 4 teams: New York, San Antonio, Cleveland, and Oklahoma City. Very, very good picking. Bryant was 2-2 in that stage. I was 3-1 in that stage. Your picks from the East and the West.
Yeah, it's unfortunately going to be copy and paste from Brian. As much as I'd love to go with the Spurs and the Cavs, I just don't think they can get it done. So I'm going to go Thunder and the Knicks as well.
I'm going to do the same thing. My Oklahoma City and my Knicks. So Brian, you've won. When you're up 1 and it's the group lock, well, you could tie in the finals.
I could.
So we could have somebody pick differently than in the finals, but you will go into the finals up 1, runaway freight train winner in the hockey.
Yeah,
but you're hockey expert.
That's right. That's what I've been called. I have a jacket that says hockey expert on it. So I need to break that.
That's what it says on your business card.
Exactly.
May not balance the checkbook, but you still have business cards.
Yeah, business card. I bring that out. All it says is hockey expert. That's pretty much all I have going for me right now.
Never balance the checkbook.
Never balance the checkbook. I think I got some checks when I first opened an account, back when I was in high school. I don't know. I might still have them. I might not still have them, but.
Do you ever see a bank statement?
They come in the mail. I don't open them, but they come.
You don't get it online?
I think it comes online. I don't know. It's
never look at it.
I don't need to look at that. They're just doing that. I think I did change it because I got a letter that was like, "Hey, you're killing trees. You can do it online." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't want to kill trees. Let's just
who does?
Let's do it online." And so I don't know. It might come in online. It might not.
9-2 on the hockey picks. Landon 6-5. I'm 5-6. We all have Buffalo tonight. Group lock over Montreal.
Yeah, that's been a really fun series, and we'll see what happens later tonight in Buffalo. You got to imagine the KeyBank Center is going to be rocking for Game 7, 6:30 on ESPN. Must watch tonight. I love this. People. Oh, man. Honestly, it'd be brutal if they lose tonight. It'd be brutal. I love watching this Canadians team, so I'll be fine if they win. But, man, if we've all got Buffalo, I guess I'll be rooting for Buffalo tonight.
Yeah, it should be wild. I really am for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Those people, they've had enough losing.
Yeah, no, they need
some
some winning.
They still hadn't hit their 2 warm days of the year, 3rd, 4th of July.
Yeah, they'll get to it at some point.
They might get 3. It might be warm the 5th.
Maybe.
Too.
I don't know. Hey, fingers crossed on that if they can get a 3rd day of it. But we got to make hockey picks on Wednesday. That's when
we do?
The West Finals get started between the Golden Knights and the Avalanche. So, and then the next night, Thursday, will be whoever wins tonight against the Hurricanes. So hockey picks coming up soon for both those conference
Your
finals.
basketball picks, was that straight picks, or is that who you're for, or both?
Yeah, I'm for Oklahoma City. I think it's
I don't
gonna be
really
great.
care. I'm gonna watch and enjoy, but I have no preference.
I really don't either. I think if you were forcing me to
now,
pick,
I'm for my Knicks.
Oklahoma City. Yeah,
I'm tapping back in.
I know you're for your Knicks.
1973.
I really don't know
if
who
I
I'm
could
for
find
in the
that
East.
New York Knicks leather gym bag I had, it was
beautiful.
classic.
That would be beautiful.
It was classic.
I guess if I have to pick a side in Cleveland and the Knicks, I really don't love the Knicks. And Naquan Tomlin is on Cleveland. He got a little run last night, so I'll go with the former Tiger. I'll root for Cleveland in this round.
I'm for big city, New York, the ultimate, against Oklahoma City, and that line of argument will get so silly.
Oh yeah, no, it will get wild. But
the New York media will be convinced people in Oklahoma don't have running water.
They really will be. They will, and so I don't know. It always gets crazy, but I think both these have the potential to be really, really entertaining series, and I'm really looking forward to this one that starts tonight between the Thunder and the Spurs.
This hour of our show brought to you every day by the #1 Ford dealership in the Mid-South. You want to talk Dynasty, they have one at Landers, and the Dynasty got built through their great customers like our listeners. Landers Ford, your trusted destination for a vehicle that fits any lifestyle. A seamless shopping experience, from vehicle choice to financing and service, from the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco. Every vehicle built with those Ford tough standards. The Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck. That's a Dynasty right there, just in the Ford F-150. SUVs like the Ford Escape, the Ford Explorer, Ford Broncos, the Ford Expedition, EVs, hybrids, they have it all, and the transparency. What you see is what you get. No hidden addendums, no fine print, right there in big, bold print. Professionalism and long-term support at Landers Ford in Collierville. Oil changes, tires rotated. Go online right now and schedule when it suits you the best, where it'll be done quickly to meet your very busy schedule. Landers Ford, active in our community in Collierville at 2082 West Poplar Avenue, or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down number 1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market.
Attention business owners, now you can protect what matters most with EnviroMaster Services. EnviroMaster is a health and safety company providing complete disease prevention and odor control programs for commercial properties and restrooms. Don't take a chance. Let EnviroMaster kill the germs that kill your business. Right now, EnviroMaster is protecting over 300 Memphis area customers. So let EnviroMaster protect your business. Call 901-500-5361 or go to enviro-master.com.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving 2 purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Save money on your next full synthetic oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $35.95. We can recommend all the oil change supplies you need. Shop your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
When you hear the sound of coming.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big. Big Daddy. The big boy. What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number today, it comes from the NBA, and it comes from that game last night. We talked about you could tell early the direction that game was going. It was all Cleveland, and it really never felt like the Pistons were really in that game. But this big number comes from that. It is the number 4. Last night, 4 different Cavaliers put up at least 20 points, while no Pistons player reached 18. It was the second ever playoff game of its kind in NBA history after Game 3 of the first round between Washington and Chicago in 2005. So no player reached 18. The leading scorer last night for the Detroit Pistons, Dennis Jenkins, who had 17 points on 4 for 12 from the field. No offense to Dennis Jenkins. I think he's a fine player. when he's leading the team in a playoff game with 17 points, well, that's kind of the result that you're going to get.
Yeah, you're not winning.
No, not at all.
Nick Kurtz right now for the Homeless A's, he's on a consecutive on-base game streak and climbing daily. But right now, I don't have it in front of me. It might be my big number tomorrow.
Yeah.
The names on it are classic.
Oh, I believe it. That's
back to
really
the Philadelphia Athletics.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
The names are great.
Yeah, that's got to be good. Wow.
Yeah. My big number is 70, as in a percentage. 70%. The Cardinals are 27-19. So 70% of their wins, 19 out of the 27, have been by 2 or 1 run.
Wow. That's insane. Yeah.
70% of the wins by 2 or 1 run.
Wow. Well, living on the edge, you got to win. You got to win those type of games, and they found a way to win a lot of close games this year. So good for them. I mean, I don't really know what that's gonna, how that's gonna pay off, but they've been fun to watch. They've been a fun team.
Been a lot of fun, and the characterization around them has been fun team, plucky team, everything but patting us on the head, cute team.
Yes.
When do you get good team?
Yeah.
When do they get good team?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Win the division.
I think that's the start of it.
But all the pleasantries are right up there with you got a nice little swing.
Yes. I mean,
you got a cute little game.
Yeah, I mean you look at that roster, and that's I think those type of observations, comments were already kind of baked in before the season started. Just the way that it's a lot of young guys, a lot of guys that what are they doing at other places? Those are kind of the things that I feel like were being thrown around about this roster before the season started. And so now that they're winning games, it's like, oh, well, they're just the fun, plucky, underdogs that are going out there and winning games, which, hey, I've said the same thing. I mean,
but it has been.
It
has been
very
a lot
enjoyable.
of fun, barring just total collapse the next week. At the first summertime holiday, all's pretty well.
Yeah, I would say so.
That gets you very little.
No, but
the last day of the year, though.
No, but I mean, if you had,
but it's better than being 10 under 500 and hopeless, and back to the ballpark. Finally, some fire in the ballpark.
Yeah, no, there definitely was.
Will it be for the next couple of days against Pirates?
That'll be the question. Obviously, it was the fun story of the Stephen F. Austin club team in town, and can the rest of the fan base carry that when they're not in the ballpark? But I mean, if you had asked, I think not you, because you had the high bar for this Cardinals team before the season started. But I think if you asked most before the season started, hey, on Memorial Day, what's the record going to be? Oh, it's not going to be good. It's going to be however many games under 500.
Well, Ollie Marmol will have a job.
Hope. Yeah, I mean, that was how a lot of us talked about it before the season started. So, yeah, I think unless you just go over until next Monday, I think you're looking at it going, yeah, this is much better than I thought this team would be. And that's
I
really
don't
all you
think
want.
Ofer will happen, but it wouldn't shock me. I keep waiting daily for this to kind of level off.
Yeah,
water finds its level.
Yeah, it feels like at any time it could happen. So
it's happened to the Reds, but everybody right now is still over 500 in the National League Central.
Yeah, which is really impressive. So you got the Pirates this week, and then
A lot of Central.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of Central. The Reds on the road for the weekend. So I think they'll be these will be 2 fun series. You get your division teams, and we'll see how they fare against them.
I saw it in person early last September when I went to St. Louis for Cardinals and A's. People, you need to watch Nick Kurtz.
Yeah.
And you need to watch his opposite field light tower power.
Yeah. You got to give the Athletics credit. They've got some really fun players over there.
They got a chance.
They do. And, it's been building. And like you said, I mean, you could see a couple of these guys over the last couple of years, and man, if they could just really put it together, they could make some noise. And so now it feels like they're starting to put it together, and fun team to watch. And we'll see if they can keep it up, and maybe make some noise later in the season. At 500 right now, I think they've got life, and we'll see what happens to them. The White Sox over the weekend, too. We haven't even mentioned them, what they did against the
2 out of 3.
That was really impressive.
Nino Cubs.
Yeah, rivalry weekend. So that was fun.
And their ballpark rocked.
Yeah, no, it did.
All weekend.
It did.
And then last night on Sunday Night Baseball on Channel 5.
Yeah.
It is it's amazing how many great baseball announcers are out there. Jason Benetti's in that league.
No, he's incredible. He's incredible. Now, I didn't watch much of that game. I turned it off. That Seattle team's terrible, so I turned it off and watched basketball. But Jason Benetti's awesome. He any game he's on, it's kind of must see because he really is.
Both. Does he do White Sox every day?
No, he's now with Detroit. He's I think he's still with Detroit every day. I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he's with Detroit every day. And
Sean be so good with the Cubs.
Yeah, no, there's some
I
really
think
good
Skip
ones.
Carey's right there with. And then national level, got it Saturday night with Joe Davis and John Smoltz.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really, really good right now, and there's a lot of guys at the top of their craft that are doing it with Major League Baseball. So it's a handful of games tonight should be fun. Getting started the next hour.
That Giants local TV crew.
Yeah. No, they're really good. So
Cow and company.
Yeah, no, it's the Major League Baseball has some really, really nice broadcasting teams. It makes it really, really fun to watch. But let's get to another break, wrap up this second hour, and when we return, we're switching gears. We're talking the Grizzlies to Michael Cole. He joins us next.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. Men, if you're tired of relying on pills and want lasting, natural performance in the bedroom, Bluff City Health and Wellness offers Apex RF. Backed by clinical research, this discreet 15-minute, non-surgical treatment boosts blood flow, sensitivity, and confidence. No pills, no needles, no side effects. Appointments are filling fast. Call Bluff City Health and Wellness today at 901-800-7606 or take the ED quiz at bchwonline.com. Bluff City Health and Wellness, your confidence in the bedroom naturally.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Building a little bit more over here on 40 East, trying to get past Sycamore View Road. If you're headed out towards Brownsville, Haywood County, I can still see a slowdown on the interstate out there on 40 East around the 59-mile marker. It's been struggling up through that section of Haywood County, possibly now for about an hour, maybe longer. It's building south of Memphis, 55 down through DeSoto County. Bridal season just around the corner. Shop local this week at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden, weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Monday afternoon. And joining us now, like he does every Monday during the basketball season, now as we get closer to the NBA draft, it's DeMichael Cole. He's the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. A lot to get to with DeMichael. He was up at the Combine last week. But DeMichael, before we get into any of that, got to talk about the heartbreaking news that came out last week, the passing of Brandon Clark. What did you make of that news? Obviously, really shook the city.
Yeah, that was a tough blow. That was a tough blow for Memphis. It was a tough blow for the NBA, the Grizzlies. It was just a tough blow. Brandon has always been, great in my interactions with him. He's, I felt like he kind of really grew, from the standpoint of at the beginning of the year. I remember we were just having a conversation about when he got his foundation off the ground, and he talked about how he wants to pour back into Memphis more, and he had a couple of events and things like that, and that's one of the unfortunate things about it. There's so many, but it's just, to me, it's always cool to see when these guys show up for these kids and show up in the community and make themselves visible, because I was a kid from here, and a lot of the athletes that I adored the most, I guess you could say, or liked the most, were the ones who were visible, for me. Like I always tell people, I remember, Zach Randolph just randomly in the hallway at my school one day. It wasn't a planned visit or anything like that. I remember when Penny Hardaway used to show up at some of our basketball games, and we'd know exactly which high school basketball games he'd be at, because he'd just go to some of the top games in the city. So you're like, oh, Penny's probably going to be there, and he's never going to say no to a pitcher or anything like that. So it's just those visibility factors, they really matter. But, man, a terrific person, 7 seasons with the Grizzlies, one of the longest tenured players in franchise history. The injuries, took a toll the last couple years, and we didn't see him on the floor as much. But, I mean, at his peak, as I wrote earlier, last week, as I wrote about, his peak, one thing that, fans from the basketball standpoint, you can always lean on and you always remember is he was a significant reason why the Grizzlies won their only playoff series in this era when they beat the Timberwolves.
DeMichael, your tweet was the first news I had even gathered at all about it. I a lot of people saw some early warning at places, but I did not. I'm scrolling through and I see that, and I know it's credible, and I know that is the way we get, used to. Somebody would call and go, are you sitting down? I got some really bad news, and and if it was a public figure, I guess breaking news or top of the hour or however we got it. But now, as you were typing that, it had to be out of body. You had to be thinking, I can't believe I'm getting ready to hit send.
Well, I've never experienced anything like it. Just to give you kind of a back, I found out personally probably sometime in the morning. I believe I sent that tweet that you're talking about probably around 1 o'clock or so. I don't remember the exact time, maybe 9, 10 a.m. was when I first, got the rounds of it, and I couldn't believe it, right? And this is something that extra sensitive, and you definitely got to do your due diligence, like you would with anything, but you proceed with extra caution when you're talking about something like this. This is a rarity. You just don't see often, this happen with active players in the NBA. But I just reached out to as many people as I could, and once we, got the credible sourcing and whatnot that this was indeed, accurate. At that point, you just wanted to be respectful, the family's wishes and everyone else's. And at that point, we were just, waiting until we were able to, put that out there. But I think before I sent it, I never really do this, but I drafted the tweet on probably 35, 40 minutes before I sent it. And, I literally, checked every word and put it in my draft until, I got the okay to publish it and whatnot. So, definitely haven't experienced anything like that one before. It was different.
Yeah, it was, and it was, it just stunned everybody, and we're really still there for the team. Are they helping players with any type of counseling or any issue, and do they help players? And I'm not saying this was attributable to it, but when they're injured and maybe looking at career threatening, do they have outreach for the players? Could Brandon, 8 weeks ago had gone to somebody and, if he was struggling with things?
Yeah, they have resources and things like that. And, it's always tough, guys, because it's one of those things where it's not as simple as people making themselves available to players. The players have to be comfortable in sharing to those particular, outlets and whatnot. So I just think about how you walk around and someone says, "Hey, how you doing?" And you just casually say, "Oh, I'm good," or "Oh, I'm doing all right." But there's no context. There's no, like to how you're really doing. And I think for a lot of players, for a lot of people in general, it's kind of a programmed response. And it's not easy, to open up, to share. And, I remember when Ja, had his whole sequence and we started talking about what he was going through a couple years back when he had his situation going on. And I remember that specifically because beforehand, I remember a couple times where I would ask Ja, how is he handling, the mental part of this? And, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm good." But then when that situation came about, he talked about how he was, kind of covering things up a little bit and whatnot. And there's so many more examples, of that. Yeah. Like sometimes you see guys end up, having suicidal situations and whatnot, and you'll hear people say "Oh, we were just talking to him 2 hours ago or yesterday, and he was smiling." And again, I think the league has done a decent job of putting the resources in place, but I don't know what the answer is and how do you go about this. But certain players are comfortable in certain settings, and there is a way to kind of ease them in to that way, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
As if we needed another reminder, but we got it. They're real people. They have real good and bad days, like everyone else, regardless of the fame and the fortune.
Yep, exactly. And we have so many examples. We've learned at this point that no matter how much money and no matter how much power you have, you're still susceptible to, mental illness and things like that. So, money doesn't cover up all the pain. It's easier for someone who doesn't have all that money to say, "Oh, please, it will cover up mine." But we've seen too many times where people have power, people have money, and their mental isn't in a great spot. So it's definitely a real thing.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, and definitely a sad story last week, and just again, the way that you handled that and the way you were able to break that, I think you deserve a lot of credit, because it is not easy at all. But you were at the NBA Combine last week. We talked with you on Monday when measurements and different things were taking place. Who stood out to you during the week at the NBA Combine?
Man, well, I'll start with the top guys, then I'll work my way down. But I was really impressed with the way that Cam Boozer was able to move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was impressive, especially in the agility stuff. I think he handled all the top guys for the most part, handled the interviews well. I think Darren Peterson was very impressive in the interview. You could tell that he knew there were some things that he had to address, and he came out and was open and honest about them and answered the questions, and sometimes unprovokingly spoke about things. So the top four did what they were supposed to do. Cameron Carr was the one that I came really impressed with in terms of the guys in that second tier of process. Ibuka Okori was another one, that I came really impressed with. I think he was a guy who was kind of, fringe, go back to college, stay, and he made it very clear. I'm staying in the draft. The NBA is my dream. And, I actually have a story coming out tomorrow, and he's going to be in it. But Cameron Carr was probably the one player who kind of impressed me the most because of the fact that I always kind of been a Cam Carr kind of believer. But whether it was the 7-foot wingspan or the 38.5 standing vertical, the 42.5 max vertical, the 30 points in the scrimmage, and he didn't scrimmage the second day because the 30 points was, he put on a show. All those things combined, we saw, a special showing for him, and he went from a guy who was projected to go in the 20s to now, I think you can make the case that he's going to be a lottery pick. He's going to be drafted, in that 14 range, probably ahead of where the Grizzlies pick.
Wow, that is really impressive. You mentioned Cam Boozer. Really, it seemed like it would be hard for him to have a better combine. You mentioned how he tested and really impressed a lot of people. Did you hear any conversations? Because it feels like since the lottery, we've kind of been penciling him in as that number 3 guy. Did you hear any conversations while you were up there about maybe him not being available at number 3?
Well, the thing is, the Grizzlies are going to do their due diligence on this process, right? Mm-hmm. I have not gotten the indication that the Grizzlies are all in on Cameron Boozer. Not to say that they won't eventually draft him. It's just, it's so early in the process. We talk about they've only done like these little casual interviews. Like, these workouts are going to be extensive, right? There were prospects who, during the combine, were talking about how the Grizzlies workouts are kind of known to be, a little bit more, and a little bit more challenging than some of the others. So you're going to see Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, probably Darren Peterson. We'll see, who decides to work out in Memphis and what. But you're going to see some of that kind of play out, and we're going to get a good indication on where they stand afterwards. But yeah, I think a lot of the early talk was Cam Boozer to Memphis. But guys, we don't know if he's going to make it to 3. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that is. I know people are just chalking it up. Oh yeah, AJ DeBance and Darren Peterson top 2. Yeah. But he's kind of like a sure bet type of player, which one of those teams might say, AJ DeBance is this terrific scorer, but I don't know what he's going to be as a 3-point shooter or defender. Or they may say, Darren Peterson has all the athletic traits that you want, but one, he wants to play point guard. I don't know if I want to play him at point guard. 2, he had injury issues all season long. I don't know if I trust that. Whereas Cam Boozer, you haven't really had injury issues. You're going to get a terrific offensive player. You're going to get a guy who grades out very well on the defensive end. Yeah, there's some physical limitations, but there's some physical strengths too. 6'9", 250 in a 7-foot wingspan. So it's like he's kind of the safest guy, I think, in the draft. And you just don't know if a team's going to buy into that. But yeah, I do think that right now it's more than likely he's the pick at 3.
Michael, Brian and I were visiting earlier, and we were talking about the desirability of these two players. It feels like more teams may want Ty Jerome than Ja Morant.
Man, I think there are other factors to that. Specifically, Ty Jerome, signed that contract, and you're talking about a guy who's making $9 million, who's probably giving you $20 million plus value, when he's available. So that's the difference there. Whereas Ja Morant, you're talking about a guy who's making over $40 million, and up this upcoming season, and played half that many games, this past season. So teams are all about value, and Ty Jerome, from a value standpoint, you're more willing to take the risk with his injury history, given that it's a $9 million contract. Sure, yeah, if he misses some games, we're only paying mid-level exception, money for him. That's nothing. Whereas Ja, you got him on a contract that's over $40 million. You need near all-star level production, from a player making that type of money.
Yeah, he's got to do it all. He's got to play well. He's got to perform. He's got to sell tickets. He's got to take care of everything on and off the court. He's got to do it all. Once again, today, from Full Court Pass, Twitter site, they reported today that NBA players voted on their number one team they do not want to get traded to. Memphis, in a landslide, wins over Washington, 35.8%. Over Washington, 11.7. Another broadside from another group out there. DeMichael, in the days and weeks ahead with these workouts, certainly around draft night, rolling out the draft picks, you're going to have a lot more media availabilities, more sessions with team officials. They've got to get out here and address this and stop the Memphis being the piñata in the national media, certainly in the NBA media.
Man, so I got wind of this a couple days before it came out and whatnot, and I was talking to some people about it and just trying to get an idea of why this was the case. And there's so many things that I heard, so many things that came to mind, but one thing that's kind of stuck out to me is the fact that Memphis isn't winning right now. And also, when the Athletic conducted, this poll, it was around the time when Draymond and LeBron James's comments were kind of making the waves. So, again, Memphis probably was already kind of like near the top of these guys' heads because, again, we heard so much about Memphis after LeBron James and Draymond Green, said what they said. But the thing, again, I want to go back to the winning part because the Athletic didn't just start doing these polls. There's a 2022 one. There's a 2023 one. The years the Grizzlies had the number 2 seed. And go look on those. Go look at where Memphis was on those. They weren't at the top.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't at the top. You know why? Because they were winning games.
Yeah.
Winning is a cure. Like, I think about so many players. Like, ask Kyle Anderson. Ask Kyle Anderson if his first stint in Memphis felt like the 1 week stint he went there this past time. I'm sure he's probably going to say, no, not even close. Why? Because that first stint, they were winning. They were a playoff team. They were having a good time. This time, they're not really winning. Your minutes fluctuate, playing out of position. Like, there are other factors. Like, we can agree that, Memphis as a city needs to improve in certain areas. And I think that's a valid point that some players are making. But it's all about winning, guys. Mm-hmm. It's all about winning. And the perfect example, and I wrote about that this morning. And the example that I used was Draymond Green. Because guess what? Draymond Green has, at this point, said his bits about Memphis, right? He said all these different things. And one of the things that Draymond Green said was he was the one who mentioned the idea of Nashville. He talked about the Grizzlies moving. He talked about the Memphis hotel. But you know what else Draymond Green said? Draymond Green said he was close to signing with the Memphis Grizzlies in 2023. Yeah. So with all that stuff out there, he still was close to signing with the Grizzlies in 2023. You know what the Grizzlies were doing in 2023? They were winning.
They were close. So, 50-win teams.
Like you win this, no one cares. I'm pretty sure if you go back to 2021, 22, and I don't know this off the top of my head, but I'm sure OKC probably was on list at that time. OKC's winning now. You go to OKC, you're going to be living in Oklahoma, and you probably, to most players' level, you won't have the nightlife that you're used to, accustomed to having in certain cities. But at the same time, guess what? You compete for a championship. Mm-hmm. You're winning, so you don't care as much. That's why OKC probably wasn't on this list. I'm guessing. So yeah, that's what it comes down to, guys. Like I think Vince Lombardi has the quote, "Winning isn't everything; it's the only thing."
I agree.
That's it. Just got to win.
No, you definitely do. And you mentioned, I mean, you look at the top teams on this list. Grizzlies with 35.8% of the votes. Washington Wizards with 11.7%.
Yep.
Sacramento Kings, 10.8%. New Orleans Pelicans, Brooklyn Nets, Utah Jazz.
It's
all
the lottery.
those are all the teams that were at
All
the top of
those
the
teams
lottery.
got something in common.
That's right.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
That's right. But I thought just especially juxtaposed against, tomorrow, the confirmation. We've known it for several weeks now. Nashville getting a Super Bowl, and we still can't get the stinking lease signed.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope this thing is done this summer. And look, we've heard nothing but positive talk, from both sides. And quite frankly, if you want to say, well, what hasn't been overly positive? Because of course they're going to say positive things publicly, but I guess you could point to the fact that when Memphis was getting pummeled, everyone was waiting on the Grizzlies to say something, right? Can the Grizzlies back the city? Can the Grizzlies back, Memphis? When LeBron James was saying this and Draymond Green and whatever, but the Grizzlies didn't really say anything, and I took that as a negotiation tactic. We're not going to come out here and say, oh yeah, Memphis is just great, because you kind of lose a little bit of your leverage there. So I take from that there's still heavy negotiations going on. And, I think right now, we're in the year 2026. You still, it's a couple years away, but you really, really want to get this thing done, I think, this year. And next year would be really pushing it, but you really want to get this done this year.
As best you could report, DeMichael, do you think the stalemate exists mutually, or is it more Grizzlies or more Mayor City Council?
I think it's more Grizzlies. I think it's more Grizzlies.
Yeah. Interesting. Going back to John Morant, talking about him and obviously the big question about trades. If you were to just say today he's either traded before the draft or after the draft, which side would you land on?
Man, that's always a tough one. Honestly, between those options, I'd probably say after the draft. But I honestly think it could be during the draft. That's another one.
Yeah.
That you gotta consider as well. But I'd say probably after the draft, given what we know now. Desmond Bain was traded before the draft.
Yeah.
So
Sure
that was last summer. But I just feels like this could potentially be something that's after the draft. I feel like teams' rosters are going to have to round out a little bit before they get much more aggressive to where the Grizzlies want it to be for the likes of John Morant. I think essentially in this situation what you have the Grizzlies, and they have their value, and they're not letting up. The Grizzlies say, hey, this is what we want for John, and they clearly have shown they're willing to keep him in an uncomfortable situation as long as they get their value. And I don't think that value is going to be out there right now, but once the draft happens and the team says, oh, we want a point guard, and then boom, all the point guards that they may have wanted are off the board. And then free agency and the trade market plays out, and it's like, man, we really didn't address point guard the way that we wanted. Oh, we can always circle back to Ja. And I think that's when teams are going to be a little bit more aggressive in pursuing Ja Morant.
Yeah, we'll see what happens over these next couple of weeks. DeMichael, as always, thanks so much for joining us. We're off next week for Memorial Day, so we'll talk with you here in a couple weeks to start June.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, DeMichael.
Thank you, DeMichael. Thank you very much. DeMichael Cole with us every Monday from the start of the Grizzlies season all the way through the NBA draft, and he will be with us through the draft with a lot to report from the Commercial Appeal, and we appreciate it so very much. And straight answers, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's what he always gives us. That's why we love having him during the season. Obviously, in the off season when a lot of moves are happening, I mean, you're not going to get much better.
Let's get ready for summer, and let's start it at All-Star Chevrolet with all the new Silverados right there in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Take Kraft Goodman Road, first exit after you cross over into Mississippi, and you're there. No interest financing or $7,000 in cash. Go big with your new HD Silverado. Make no payments all summer. No payments all summer with your new Trax, Colorado truck, or a new Traverse with third-row seating, your good credit deserves it, and you'll get it from Drew DePriest and his great team at All-Star. This is Military Appreciation Month. Our friends at All-Star always appreciate and always love our military. In May, get a $1,000 military appreciation bonus on almost every Chevy model on the lot at All-Star. $1,000. If you want a barely driven certified Chevy or the hottest pre-owned Chevy, All-Star is the spot and the place to be. Tahoe, Suburbans, Trailblazers, for all your fleet and commercial, express cargo, passenger vans, and all. You can get them all at All-Star Chevrolet. It's the top-rated business elite dealer in our area. Together, let's drive to All-Star. Don't miss the Ready for Summer event going on now in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is Kelly Erb with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I have worked with Sheldon Rosengarten for over 10 years and have noticed something about the way he works with his clients. He is way too honest, and they are grateful for us for pointing out things they were not aware of.
This is Sheldon, and yes, being honest has caused people to really think about what they need to do to sell their homes or when they buy. Kelly and I have advised people about what are the best and most economical things to do to prepare their homes for the market to get the best prices.
And Sheldon, we always provide our buyers with the necessary background research to advise them before they make an offer on a house. And yes, we have even sometimes talked clients out of buying, and they're grateful for us pointing out things they were not aware of.
So if you're thinking of buying a home, call or email Kelly or me, and before you list your home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure we are one of them.
Yes, remember to call me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830.
And when you want the job done, call Sheldon at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Call us today.
I have solved one of life's great puzzles.
That seems really unlikely.
I have.
Okay, what puzzle?
What to give people as wedding presents when they're out of town.
It's not that big of a puzzle.
Oh, yeah? What would you do?
I would ship them some yummy Central Barbecue. So what were you going to say?
Ship them some yummy Central Barbecue? Because they have great packages.
Yeah, like the ribs pack, the pulled pork pack, even the combo pack.
This is all stuff that I was going to say.
I know. You're always going to go to the Central Barbecue well.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. Did you know there are so many roofing companies in Memphis that I don't even know them all? So that begs the question, which one should you choose? So I thought I'd give you a little background about me. My grandfather was a World War II Marine. My father worked for the University of Memphis for nearly 30 years. My mother, a pianist at Raleigh Baptist Church. Seems like forever. I went to Brownsville Road, Craigmont, and Bartlett High School, class of 81. We support the local school systems, youth athletics, and believe in what St. Jude and Le Bonheur stand for. I'm a Tiger and Grizz fan. The point? Memphis is my home. Five-Ash Roofing will be around if you ever have a problem with the service we provide. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical, with deep local ties in our community. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, MPD on the scene of a couple of accidents, starting to build even more so now with that push of traffic going outbound on Sam Cooper, especially here up by Perkins as that traffic gets off 240 onto 385, cranking it pretty good actually going outbound on Belmore. Frankly, a little more so here in the last few minutes, continuing out towards Collierville. There's radar out here, extra travel time. Hey, bridal season just around. The corner shop local do it this week at Reimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending and a handful of things trending this afternoon. But, Brett, you mentioned with DeMichael the anonymous player poll from the Athletic NBA players, a lot of different questions being asked, but one that is certainly making its rounds locally is the question, what's the first team on your no-trade list? The Memphis Grizzlies, out of 120 votes, received 35.8% of the votes. An overwhelming winner, or loser, I guess, in this case, over the next team that was the Washington Wizards, who received 11.7% of the votes.
Pretty cheap shot, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a really bad question.
Hits keep on coming, don't they?
It does. I think it's a dumb question to ask because I think no matter if it was the Grizzlies or anybody else, there's nothing positive that will come from the results of that question. It's only negative, and so the Grizzlies lead it, and they lead it pretty resoundingly. Like I said, 35.8%. The next closest is 11.7%. So it's not the best thing to certainly come out, but I wasn't surprised about it. I mean, we've been saying for years that Memphis is not a free agency destination or a place that guys are just clamoring to go to in the NBA.
How many votes did Marcus Smart get in that?
Well, that's a great question. That's another thing. It says 120 votes. Obviously, it's anonymous. I would just like to know, what kind of players are they polling in this? I mean, are they polling the LeBron James and the Kevin Durant's of the world? They
don't want to be traded anyway.
No, I mean, are they polling the 12th, 13th man on the bench? Who are you polling exactly? And because I do think that certainly differs the answer. They had a quote in here from a player that said, quote, "I'll play anywhere, honestly, but I would have to say Memphis is a place I don't want to live, so that would be the reason why I wouldn't want to play there." That sounds more like a kind of down on the bench. He's going to go wherever he's told to go, but has an opinion about Memphis that I don't think is very accurate. But it's what he's heard and how he feels, so whatever, I guess. But it did not surprise me to see Memphis leading the way in this category today.
Brian, I still think, and I really thought it would have happened by now, and I think it will happen sometimes before the start of next year. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't, it really starts. You can just start filling in the stories however you would want, mm-hmm. and they could go a lot of places. But I think one of these days we're going to get the breaking news tweet alert of agreement made, mm-hmm. and I think a party, a celebration, mm-hmm. Maybe bigger than when the team moved here, mm-hmm. of continuing working agreement with city officials and FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies here to stay, and then Jason Wexler, and if Robert Perry were to come to town, and anybody Grizzlies associated, they can really scoff at all the naysayers and skeptics. They can go the full. We knew it the whole time. What were you worried about, mm-hmm. Brett? You big scaredy cat. I hope we get to that point. I really do. I hope they can do that and spike the ball on everyone. But every passing day, the vacuum gets filled, and every passing day, more and more embarrassing stories. In Memphis out there again, just as the laughing stock juxtaposed around Nashville getting a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, until, the pen hits the paper and it's official and we get the headlines and Michael Cole's writing about it at the Commercial Appeal saying it's official, a deal has been met,
and artist renderings.
That's exactly right. But, it kind of just leaves that opening for your mind to go wherever it may go. And that thought of it's not going to happen or anything. And even in this story from The Athletic, it has the polling, and it has that, Memphis leads the way, and it says a couple things. It has a couple quotes about different people on there, and then it says, so long as the Grizzlies don't have a new arena lease agreement at FedEx Forum where their current deal expires after the 28-29 season, there will be questions about whether a move might be on the horizon. The negotiations between the organization and the city have lasted far longer than was expected and remain unsolved. So even The Athletic is pointing out hey, they don't have a deal yet.
That's not Brett.
No.
That's not Bryant.
No, and so
that's not Mito Talk Radio, fanning any flames.
No.
That August, I think, owned by the New York Times,
That's right.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, heck, then it's the gospel.
That's right.
And Brian, let's say that we don't have anything this summer, and we get into opening of the season, of the 26-27 season, and then if we got one day into calendar year 2027, then the Athletic and many others can do those stories, and that speculation and supposition. That's 2 years.
Yeah.
That's 2 years then.
Yeah.
That's the end of 29.
That's right. I mean, as long as...
And it can just run with it.
Exactly. And that's the problem of not getting it done and just, getting the deal done. So I hope, and, I think we'll hear something this summer, and hopefully what we hear is that...
Would you have thought by now?
No.
Okay.
I would say at some point this offseason, but I feel like right now it's still pretty early. I don't really know. I'm saying this, and I don't really know when the right time would be or when I think it would probably happen. But I do think we get news this offseason, and hopefully it's news that it's done.
When we get it
made.
They're going to very much cop that.
Oh, yeah.
Never any doubt. This is slam dunk. What are you worried about?
They will, and whatever. At that
Tell
point,
the Athletic that.
Yeah, I don't
tell that. Don't just tell Brett that. Tell the Athletic that.
Sure. But at that point, Brett, do whatever you want. They can say whatever they want, and I don't care. As long as the deal gets done, they can say whatever they want to after the fact.
But don't you think it should be treated with a huge party?
No, sure. It certainly does.
Almost like getting the team?
Yeah, I think when you get to any point, when anybody is questioning or wondering or
we need a party.
Is anticipating anything other than the deal is going to get signed. If one person says the deal's not going to get done, they're moving, and then it ultimately doesn't happen and they get the deal signed and they're staying, yes, it deserves a party. So I absolutely think it should be mass celebration if that deal gets done.
I mentioned a couple of times, everybody knew it, but Nashville I think tomorrow it's going to get formalized that they will have Super Bowl 64 after the 2030 season. We know LA next February, Atlanta, then Vegas, then Nashville, and then probably a run on all these new domes. New dome in Cleveland, new dome in Washington D.C., in Kansas City. We think in Chicago. Maybe in Charlotte and some other places. That's putting a lot of years in between.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, one and only, hosting the Super Bowl in 2011.
That's a good point. I haven't even thought about that, but you're right. And, I think that's the way it's heading. I think it's, these.
He could help the ice storm.
No, look, he can't.
We blame Jerry for a lot of things. He could help the ice storm.
Look, I love, nothing I love more than blaming Jerry Jones for things, but I can't blame the weather on him. But, no, it.
Been a while for Dallas, been a while for Indianapolis, 2012, 2017, overtime, as I predicted, in Houston.
Yeah, these are beautiful venues, obviously, but it's these new bright lights, brand new, the new shiny toy.
That's part of the hook of getting the dome built.
Yeah, and the NFL wants to go to these spots, and now that they have the opportunity with these domes. So, I'm happy for Nashville. I think it's great. I think it's great news for them as a city and as an organization, the Titans, to be able to host that.
Right.
It's cool.
That is nice of you, and that's exactly my feelings. Look, anger and petty and envy is a really bad look. Why can't we just say congratulations, Nashville? Sure. Knock it out.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of, we're supposed to hate Nashville. I like Nashville. I enjoy going to Nashville. I have a lot of friends that live in Nashville. I have no problem with Nashville. But at the end of the day, the state of Tennessee is hosting a Super Bowl. That's pretty
right.
Cool, no matter who you ask, I think. And so, I'm going to say congratulations to them, and I look forward to it. I won't be anywhere near Nashville when the Super Bowl is there. I'll let them have that and all that traffic. But I think it's cool.
Brad, a little bit on these airwaves. Oh, you'll remember in the 90s.
Of course.
A little bit on these airwaves, chuckled at the news of NFL in Nashville. I did.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it because I can remember when Memphis, I would say ahead of Nashville, 1975,
Sure.
ahead of Nashville, ahead of Charlotte. Not ahead of Atlanta, but not 25 paces behind like now, and not 25 paces behind like in Charlotte and Nashville like now. Look, they had great, effective, unified leadership.
Yeah.
We haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I would love for Memphis to be ahead of Nashville, and I hope that one day that Memphis gets to that point. But they're the hot topic right now, and they're a very
we spend a
thriving
lot
city.
of time on stuff that don't make a tinker's you know what.
No, definitely not. And so good for them. And like you said, I think that news is going to be made official tomorrow, so that will certainly be around the headlines.
And
nationally.
the party will be on there.
Will
Also,
be.
the NFL announcing that draft next year, of course, in Washington, D.C. on the National Mall. That should be some scene.
Yeah.
I would really like to go. And then after that, in the spring of 2028 in Minneapolis.
Very cool. Yeah. So getting a lot of news out
I
there.
do not want to go to that.
No, thank you.
I got out of Minneapolis once.
No, thank you. Yes. One time.
Dang near froze.
Yeah, no, it's cold up there. You talk about Buffalo in those couple days of summer. Minnesota's right there up there with them.
It's real.
It is. It definitely is
Rhett's
real.
right. It's real.
Yeah, I believe it. I
Rhett's
believe
wrong.
It.
It's really real.
Yeah, no, I that does not surprise me at all. But definitely a lot of NFL news out there. Speaking of news, we mentioned it earlier, but New Orleans made it official this morning. Jamal Mosley going to be their next head coach after being fired by the Orlando Magic. It sounds like what's being reported right now, Billy Donovan, a strong candidate for the Orlando opening.
Heard this before.
Yeah,
I can remember a press conference where he took the job.
That's right. So who knows if that ultimately happens? And it sounds like Portland starting to limit down some of their potential prospects in terms of a next head coach. So a lot of moves being made around the NBA, even though we still have basketball being played. And tonight we'll get game 1 of the Western Conference Finals on NBC. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we return, it'll be time for Moe's Crunch Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, there's some things about the Rendezvous I want to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to-go orders. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. Brett, we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear, please listen carefully for our menu has changed. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Landers Ford in Collierville, #1 in the Mid-South. New 2025 Ford F-150. Employee pricing for everyone, plus no down payment. Yes, it's the Memorial Day no pay event. We're celebrating America 250 with employee pricing for everyone on hundreds of new F-150s, plus no down payment. Trade values are strong for now. Get top dollar before values drop. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords in the Mid-South. The price you see is the price you pay. No hidden addendums. That's the Landers Ford difference. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Don't wait. New F-150s with employee pricing for all, plus no down payment. The best sell fast. Landers Ford in Collierville. Remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you pay too much.
As reported on Ford's 2025 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market. Employee pricing is a Ford A-Plan pricing program. U.S. residents only. Prior purchases not eligible. Other exclusions may apply. See dealer for complete details. Price plus tax title license. Offer includes $6.95 processing fee with approved credit through Ford Credit. Offer ends 6/1/26.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? If you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Run, Lindsay.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries, its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye!
It's obviously Crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com, it's your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today, this story is just insane. Trick Skubal, who had surgery back on May 6th to remove a loose body from his left elbow. When he had to undergo surgery, before the surgery took place, people were projecting that he would miss 2-3 months, that he was going to be sidelined for a while with this. But thanks to the nano needle, the surgery was less invasive than a typical procedure. And today, he threw a bullpen. So Trick Skubal is starting to ramp back up, starting the rehab process, and it looks like we could see him back maybe in the next couple of weeks, which would just be remarkable, a remarkable recovery time from this surgery, and it would be huge for the Tigers, who have really struggled to start the year. They could get him back earlier than expected. That would be a huge boost that they absolutely need.
2-8 in their last 10, 20 and 27 for the year. They need him back. What I learned, there wasn't breaking news. We've known about Super Bowl 64 in Nashville, and it makes me think to the morning of the Tennessee Oilers' first game in Memphis, in the Commercial Appeal Sports headline that said that it was Memphis's dream, but Nashville's team. And now they're hosting a Super Bowl. That day, 30,171 was the box score at the Liberty Bowl Stadium for a 24-20 overtime.
All right.
Oilers win over the Raiders. Boy, things have changed. Now their second stadium and hosting a Super Bowl in Nashville, and we're begging to get a lease signed.
Crazy. Wild to see where things have gone. What I could have done without today, we keep learning more and more about Brendan Sorsby. I mentioned earlier when we were talking with David Cobb that he felt more connected with the team when he was betting on the Indiana Hoosiers, when he was a part of that team. I, too, feel more connected to the teams that I bet on. So one of us, you could say. But we have also learned that this is a quote from court documents that said, quote, across the 2022-2025 seasons, Mr. Sorsby placed thousands of bets on everything and anything. These bets weren't for the purpose of making money. He bet on things like games in the Turkish Basketball League, Romanian soccer games.
The action. He liked that.
He absolutely loved the action. Obscure doubles tennis matches, and Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. I draw the line at the eating contest. You got me. Look, I'll get down to some Turkish basketball, some Romanian soccer, but not the hot dog eating contest. I cannot go there.
The amount of the wagers, general average amount of the wagers.
Yeah, it's a good question. I still haven't seen, the first initial ones were just, hey, he's kind of playing light money on a lot of games, which I kind of thought about. And as I thought about it more, I figured a college football player, knowing the amount of money that these starting quarterbacks are making, I'm sure his just little money is not anywhere near what my little money is. So who knows how much he was placing on these games.
I could have done without this, and I promise you, I'm not ripping him. I like him a lot. But Scotty Scheffler, he loves kind of this aloof, I'm more than just golf. I love being a dad. I'm sure he does. I don't blame him. I want him to. Sometimes he kind of cops attitude like he's the first dad ever. There have been people who have had kids before. Right. But I know he is more than golf. He also likes saying that he's not Tiger. Mm-hmm. That's almost a shot, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But there's only one time in your life that you're going to be in the wheelhouse of your career to be in the upper elite of the game. Yeah. Don't let it get by you. You may look up and go, God, well, I wish I'd have cashed in on that a little more.
No, absolutely. And this year, we've seen some real missed opportunities for him, especially at both these majors. Where are you beaming tonight?
Oklahoma City for game one. No way I'm going to flipping hockey over Western Conference Finals game one. San Antonio 4-1 this year over Oklahoma City by pretty good margins, by 2, by 20, by 15, and 10. They did lose by 21. It's going to be a battle, and I started the show with it. In 2 weeks, they're going to hate the existence of the other one, and they're going to see a lot of each other over the next 8 to 10 years.
I think that's the best thing that could happen over these next 2 weeks. If these teams, by the end of it, just outright hate each other, that will make these next however many years that'll make that 10 times better.
Lane Maribet. I love Oklahoma ham against some Texas brisket.
There you go. Yeah, I hope we see that over these next couple of weeks, because we could be seeing these two teams meet a lot in the Western Conference Finals over the next couple of years. So I love it if they just despise each other. But Brett, it's the 3 best words in all of sports. Game 7 hockey tonight in Buffalo, New York, KeyBank Center. The Canadiens and the Sabres, a fight for it all later
if the
tonight.
Sabres win it all, somebody goes over the falls, don't they?
They definitely do. It will be a wild
with
scene
the Stanley
up there.
Cup.
Yes, it will be wild scene, but the Sabres have to get past the Canadiens first. They've had their trouble in Buffalo. It should be rocking. The action gets started at 6:30 on ESPN.
Mostly basketball for me, but I'll flip over there and keep a close eye on it. I'm also going to watch the whistle for SGA. But watch the whistle for Wembanyama as well. Oklahoma City and San Antonio, the start of a lot of battles. 32-win Braves at Marlins, 30-win Rays at home against those, and the Cubs and the Brewers at Wrigley.
Yeah, a lot of baseball tonight for a Monday. Handful of games already started. It looks like we've got one game in a delay. Guardians and Tigers look like some rain in the area, so should be a fun night of baseball, but a lot of eyes going to be on game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. You got some hockey action as well. Should be a really, really fun night. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build your own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite. On Germantown Parkway in